Bobby, intro idea for the show. Every week have an over or under if Joe's going to be on the show. Love y'all.
Hey, dudes, listen, we have one unbelievable show on deck for you this week. Let me start asking you with this one question right here. If I took the latest electronics off of your boat today and I replaced them with the graph you had like 5 years ago or even 10 years ago, would you still know how to find fish? If that question makes you a little uncomfortable, this week's Just the Tip is exactly for you. We got a ton of great stuff, guys, this week to go along. All kinds of stuff in the week in review. We've got a broke on the boat this week. We're going to be talking about electronics. A lot of talk about electronics. A couple of calls and texts in the live well. You guys don't want to miss out. We got Jigs and Bigs goodness coming up right after this. I'll tell you what, we do have an amazing show. I have an FTG to submit this week. We've got a fantastic Just the Tip. We're going to be talking a lot about, I know we mentioned a long time ago about doing a show about technology and fishing and stuff, and actually with the new Live 2, like that might be a conversation we're gonna have soon, and I think probably after like the big fall fall fishing push, that would be a nice thing to kind of roll into winter with. So I don't know, we'll talk about that. Before we get into this week's show, let's discuss. We got something we got to go over, guys. This might be your first time listening to Jigs and Bigs, and if it is, strap in, because we are Jigs and Bigs. We're a weekly podcast show. We drop a show every Tuesday morning for you guys on all the major podcast platforms, and it's a beefy show. It is generally about 3 hours or so, generally a week. We talk about the fishing community. We talk a little bit about tips and tricks, gear, but the big thing is that community element right there. This is all about fishing, about sharing fishing stories, all kinds of great stuff, and you may hear us mention some people throughout the show as if we're talking to them, and we are. These are our jig heads. Our jig heads are our Patreon subscribers. They sign up to see the show being produced on an exclusive live stream to them, so they'll be commenting along the way. We've got a handful of jig heads in the house already. We're looking forward to it. It's going to be really great. But Jigs and Bigs offers you so much more. We do online tournaments so you can get competitive and fish and have some fun. We've got content on every single social media platform that there is. Both myself running Jigs and Bigs, but also my co-host Joe Brown running American Vet Fishing and also AVF Tackle Experts. So all kinds of great stuff for you guys. Make sure to be following us on all those platforms and everything. We do giveaways and stuff, so it definitely pays to be a part of all that. Make sure to be following us on your preferred podcast platform. And the big thing is, don't forget that ratings and reviews help us out a ton. The more ratings and reviews that we can get, the more that the algorithms push this content out so other people can access it and discover it organically, which is awesome. We're all about that. Should let you guys know that certain segments of this week's show and every week's show will have some voicemails and some text messages that come in through the Jigs and Bigs hotline. That number is 413-324-8519. You guys can call or text us there anytime. Leave us a voicemail, leave us a text message. We'll use it for our FTG segment. That means fuck that guy. We'll use it in our live well segment. That's kind of like our around the water cooler, like just hitting around with the guys after you've done a tournament and just having some ramp beers, that kind of vibe. Take that number, put it in your phone right now, 413-324-8519. Trust me, you're going to want to check that out. You can also go visit jigsandbigs.com. We have a bunch of show partners that are offering you guys discounts and ways that you can help support the show just by gearing up with the stuff that you use. All of those links are in every single podcast too. You can go ahead and scroll through, whether you want, to get some really cool niche baits from Dark Horse Tackle, or you want to step up your fish whistle activities with a Yeti bong from Chill Steel Pipes. We got you covered, baby. I'm your host, Bobby Roast Beef. We got, who the fuck is Joe Brown, the one and only American Vet Fishing with us. Welcome to Jigs and Bigs. Dude, I'm under 6 minutes. I'm under 6 minutes, Joe. This is amazing. I'm getting better with this. This is good. Dude, we got a bunch of a bunch of folks in the live well, or in the for the jig heads tonight. We got Eli in the house. We've got Ian in the house. We've got Todd Sefton out in Michigan in the house. We also have John Hagens too from Ohio. Like, dude, welcome everybody. We have an amazing show and we have some great conversation to go through. So, Joe, I have a lot of fishy shit to go through.
That's great. That's great to hear because I don't have a ton.
I know, but you did say you had a story about the drive back from. I
do.
And then I had a story regarding married life that I think could be folks could relate to if nothing else. So why don't we start with your story, Joe? What you have on deck? Like, do you have any fishing plans coming up before the month rolls out? What are you thinking?
So I'm still kind of in recovery mode from iCast and Disney and Florida and all that. I still kind of like, I think I might have still been a little hungover the last show we did a little bit. But now I'm good. But like, I'm still like in awe as to like, you know, we talked about the after parties and stuff like that. Like, it's so crazy being in, you know, and for you guys that follow professional fishing to like roll up and see, you know, Seth Fider ripping a dart in the parking lot, and then like, you know, seeing Easton Fothergill and like Dakota Ebear, and like it just like, so it's I was still a little starstruck from that, but anyhow, let's talk about the ride home, Bobby.
Because it was a mission, right?
Huh?
It was a mission, right?
Yeah. So it's, dude, it's so, I can't wait till like, I keep saying I got a few months left because I don't know if we've really talked about this, Bobby, but I was supposed to be like a fish, like done, or not. I was supposed to be done like next month because I was going to do my 6 months of,
that's right,
what they call Skill Bridge.
Yep.
It's basically a, internship essentially, and I was going to do that with a company, and well, our general here in Massachusetts that runs Massachusetts decided, you know, with the mission set and everything right now, he doesn't want, they're not going to approve that anymore.
Fuckers.
Yeah, so I'm just like, you know, I'm just waiting for March to where that's completely done, but I'm going to have some time because I got like surgeries and stuff I got to have to get fixed over the winter and stuff, get all that done before I'm out, but get my body fixed. But anyhow, dude, we did not want to leave. We did not want to leave Florida. Like, even it was so effing hot, but it was still just like, you know, the kids were loving it. And we stayed at that awesome campground, that Disney campground, Wilderness, Fort Wilderness. And we were so busy with like the parks and iCast that we didn't really get to like really take in the campground. Dude, that campground is bigger, more than twice the size of Magic Kingdom itself. It's huge. They have multiple bus routes on this campground. Like the Disney buses like run on the campground to bring you around the campground if you don't like rent a golf cart or something.
Oh, wow.
It's insane, dude. It's huge. And so we didn't want to leave, dude. I was just thinking, well, we were just talking. I'm like, don't worry. Next year, like if we do this, we don't want to leave. We don't have to. You know what I mean? We stay longer.
Yeah.
You know? And but anyway, so, you know, we hit the road. Kids were good. Dogs were good. Dude, the dogs are so phenomenal when we travel in that thing. Like Ice just comes right next to the two seats. And Draco's like right next to her, dude. And they really the whole time they very rarely move. It's so awesome. And we're so lucky that they don't get like super antsy or whatever.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I drove a good lick the first day, and we stayed in I want to say we end up stopping in North Carolina. Like I was like, let's hit this rest stop, let's sleep, and then we'll hit again in the morning. Like I'm tired. That's a good thing about having that thing. Park at the rest stop, go in our beds, sleep, get up and go.
Yep. It's great.
The second day, so we're going, dude. And we stop, I think so the thing about Google, I was using Google Maps most of the time. And the thing about Google Maps is it really wants you to go through New York City.
Yeah.
So you have to keep telling it, no, I don't want to go through New York City. Because like on paper, it's like that's the quickest way, you know? But realistically, I mean, Bobby, you bring in the George Washington Bridge, Cuomo Bridge, all that shit. It's not quicker. So we went, I think we were in PA, and we stopped to get food real quick. I get back in and I plug my phone back in, and it reverted to the route to go through New York City, and I didn't catch it. I was just driving, dude. So we ended up going through New York City at the same exact time the World Cup was ending in New York City.
Oh, no.
Dude.
Oh, dude, that sucks.
Hey, we're stopped. The Trump motorcade goes right by us. We're stopped right next to MetLife Stadium. Like the fucking like fireworks are still going off and shit. I'm just sitting there. I'm just like, oh my fucking God right now. Are we serious? Like all the like limo, like Escalades, like are all like cutting everyone off because they got like players and dude. We ended up getting home 3.5 hours later than we should have.
I believe it, dude. That sucks.
Oh my goodness, dude. And the kids were loving it. Like it was pretty cool having the presidential motorcade go right by us. That was kind of cool. I never like experienced that before.
Sure, yeah.
And oh dude, it was fucking brutal. And it was like at MetLife. So we're stuck at MetLife. Haven't even gone over the George Washington yet.
Yep.
And then we end up getting essentially pushed off of the interstate for whatever reason, like detoured off.
Yeah.
Which is fine. It was after New York City. But then when I'm trying to get back on, dude, it took me another hour to find a spot to get on that I could go because there was like low bridges.
I was going to say, does it try to send you up the fucking parkways?
I have to go around those. I have to go around
because there's some that are like, I mean, you wouldn't know. There's no way you would clear them. Yeah.
Yep.
So, dude,
so now I'm just like, dude, it's like fucking, I think it was like midnight or 11:30 midnight. I'm somewhere in like New Jersey, dude, trying to fucking like northern or eastern, whatever, just trying to figure out a way to get back on the interstate because it was like all low bridges to get on back onto the interstate. We obviously found it eventually, and we got back I think at like 2:30 in the morning, when we should have been back at like 11. But we laugh about it now, and it was funny. But yeah, we got home, dude. I didn't have to go back to work. We got home that early Sunday morning. I didn't have to go back to work till Tuesday, which was nice. And then, so I did that for a couple days, like a schmuck. And this weekend we're planning on getting out.
That's awesome.
Meg actually just said a little while ago. She's like, "Can we please get out on the boat?" I was like, "Uh-huh." I was like, "We sure can." I just got to get the RVs in my driveway right now, so I got to get that back to my aunt's house. Otherwise, I can't get my boat out. So I got to do that. That's priority one tomorrow to get that thing out of here and back to my aunt's house, and then get the boat situated. Because I haven't even splashed a boat since St. Lawrence River.
We should take one of these open Thursday nights that I'll have, and we should do a couples tournament on Lashaway.
Yeah.
I think that's a good idea. We should take advantage of that being on the schedule.
Yep. Or even meet up at like Congamon after work, after I get out of work or something.
Oh, we totally could do that. Yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
Yeah, it could be a lot of fun. That's
awesome.
I
know you, though. Your Thursdays won't be open for long.
They're not. Well, I am pushing to try to hold off until like sometime in September, maybe even October.
Yep.
Like I would like to keep it off to the side. We got IBP Fishing says, when's the couple's turn? His wife heard it during the trip home from Tennessee last week. It's coming. It's coming.
It's coming.
Vinny and I have been talking about it. We want to kind of do this to kind of like hype things up a little bit. And then we're 100% going to do it. It's going to be a short thing. It's going to be a half day. It'll be like a 4-hour window. Start at the perfect time, but it's going to be nationwide. Everybody will be able to participate. It'll be great. It'll be badass. And then IBP Fishing says also, he goes, and it goes in tandem with what you were talking about, Joe. He goes, there should be an option for Google Maps for a truck, trailer, or commercial setting.
So, yeah. So there isn't on Google Maps, which is crazy.
It's insane, yeah.
There is a site or an app called RV Life that has their own GPS that you can set that. This is super dumb, but the reason why I was using Google Maps over RV Life because the voice on RV Life annoys the fuck out of me.
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
It's
Talk
like,
about third
at
world
least, like,
or
Google,
first world
Google
problems.
Maps, it almost sounds like a human. I got that like hot British or Australian like accent.
Dude, I have a British female voice on Siri.
Whereas RV Life's just like super robotic and loud. I'm just like, So I will be using RV Life from now on.
I agree, though. I agree. That is something that they should 100%, like just like hey, are you towing something? What's the height? Like something like that would be very helpful as a filter.
Yep.
Google's
that's actually
get it together.
So when I was trying to figure out like where to go because of the low bridges, that's when it clicked. I was like, oh my God, I'll try this RV Life one.
Yep.
And it gave me a route immediately, like
That's
where
awesome.
to go without getting stuck.
I was watching some YouTube video and this couple I think they were in like a Class C camper and they were like, whatever, it might have even been RV Life, but there was like warnings. They were like, oh, taking this left turn, be careful.
Yep.
It's at a weird degree, the weird angle. So watch out. And I was like, that's the kind of shit that you need, especially if it's like your first time doing a run and you're like, I have no idea. You got it. Yeah. Yeah. It's smart. It's definitely smart.
So our RV with the ACs and stuff, I think it's 13.4.
Oh, that's
I had to Google it because I went under a bridge. I was 13.6.
Holy shit, dude. That's a nut tangler right there. Holy Jesus Christ.
You know what I did?
Ouch.
I didn't even slow down. I was like,
Pedal to the metal.
if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it right.
Yep. Dude, that is fucking nuts, man. That is nuts. Well, I mean, it's funny. Like I had a conversation yesterday with Dave Urkey, and it seems like a lot of folks have that like ICAST hangover. It happens with all trade shows,
Yeah.
You get back to real life and you're just like, oh, that wasn't real life, huh? That was just like a magical week of amazing networking and all this cool shit. And now you're like back to the average everyday grind. So
it's tough. Like I'm already excited for it next year, especially since Bobby's coming, whether he likes it or not.
There is, the ICAST for sure. That's going to happen next year.
Yep, the classic. We're doing it all next year, Bobby.
It's funny you mentioned the classic. I was talking with Shan, and so we gotta get serious about the classic. Like what
we do.
I
feel so bad. I've been kind of like how I am with phone calls and texts, especially recently. Like. I feel so bad. Like he actually called me today, and I was in a meeting at work, so I gotta call him after we're done with the podcast.
So we gotta like nail some stuff down. I'm thinking honestly, like I know everybody, every listener, every jig head was like, "Oh yeah, dude, it's awesome." If you're getting, I don't think that's going to be in the cards. I have a feeling what we're going to do is end up getting like whatever we need for lodging, and then we'll organize some get-togethers or something like that. But it's like, it's just going to be,
it's such not even fishing. It's such a busy few days, like especially like people like especially if we're doing jigs and big stuff where we're at the trade show. I would really love to like bring the camera out and like interview people for jigs and bigs and stuff like that. Like we're gonna be busy, dude. And we're gonna want to be on the water, like actually watching shit go down. Like it's definitely not a vacation. It's a vacation, but it's like a work vacation because like
that's the best way
doing
to word
stuff we love. You know what I mean?
And it's interesting. Like next year's going to be really actually, I'll be honest with you. We get into fall, we get into October, and it's going to be insanity through. Like I have so much shit I'm trying to squeeze in before like Christmas as far as fishing shit. We're going to talk broke on the boat today about something that's going down that is I'm going to be leaning heavily into for a lot of that cold weather activity to take advantage of. And learn some shit. And then next year, I mean, we'll be able to double up on the New England and the Columbus Expos. Then the Classic is like right there. You know, I've got Arkansas in mid-February. Mm-hmm. You know, it's going to be busy, dude. It's going to be real busy. And you guys have no idea. If I get a double digit in Arkansas,
my fat ass is never going to shut up about that.
Just be ready. Just be ready. It's going to be a whole thing. Yeah, it's gonna be pretty good, man. It's gonna be pretty good. Let's talk. I got so much fishy shit to talk about. Like
Let's do it.
It's been a week this week, so I have notes as usual, and I broke them down by day. So my fishy week started just last Saturday. It was a slot tournament.
Sucked balls.
It was awful. I picked up Paul. Actually, no, he came by to my place, jumped in the truck. We took a ride out. We fished. I fished over at Congamon that day because I was like, my average over there, Joe, has been like 15 and a half inches. Like those,
that's great
for the slot. That's perfect.
Yeah.
So I'm like, no, this is great. This is awesome. Well, not that fucking day. So Paul and we knew that there was going to be a significant thunderstorm that was going to be coming through. And there's no way we're going to fish all the way to the end of the tournament. There was just no way, because it was going to be very, very dangerous to be on the water after like noontime. So I was like, dude, I'm going to send it. We can go and we can fish at 6 or whatever. But I was like, he wasn't even in the derb. I'm like, I just can't count anything I catch until after 8 o'clock, you know, like, so we get out there and we make our way. And dude, it was so quiet. It was so quiet. We had the launch to ourselves when we launched. We got out there. I had been toying around with a tactic that we're going to talk about in just the tip. And it has paid off big this week. And I started actually the previous week kind of tinkering around with this and kind of dialing it in. And we had gone out, like we were just looking for like a topwater bite just for fun. And of course, we're fishing this area along this bank, and there's like these 2 beds of weeds, and one of them has like pads and everything, like weeds up to the surface. The other one is pretty submerged. It's a little bit deeper over there, but in between there's this sandy bank. So I see a shadow. I'm like, is that a fish? Because it was light sand, you know. And I'm like, is that a bass? I was like, I don't know. So I threw over. I forget what it was. It might have been a Senko or something, and it grabbed it. But it didn't grab the hook, and it just let it go. And I was like, I have a feeling that's going to be a thing. I did catch this derpy fish. You know, sometimes you catch a fish and it's got a face that's just all deformed. This one was like that, and it was like
derp,
scary looking. Like it was just weird. It would have totally fit, but this was also before 8 o'clock, and so I'm like, whatever. We'll release this. I was like, at least they're eating. Like that's all I want to know. Like at least they're eating. Well, that would be the last quality fish that we would get all day. We went to a number of different spots and changed up some areas, used some of the intel that I had gathered when I had practiced a little bit for this. None of that really paid off, but I did lean into this one tactic, and I was able to find some fish and then snipe them one at a time on a drop shot. And I was like, okay, I'll take it. Unfortunately, the biggest fish I caught doing that was 11 and a half inches in total. So that was absolutely no good to me. Paul, I will say this. Paul did this is Polish hammer shit right here. Straight up. Paul hooked into a massive bass that would have been over the slot 100%. He was just throwing around a lipless in some pretty deep water, and he was just burning it back, and this fish just fucking smacked it, Joe. And he's like, holy shit, dude, this is a giant. Now, I have the net in hand ready to go, and I see this fish, and it's like, it's a little squirrely, like it's going down like under the boat, and like it's getting away. I was like, dude, just play it out. I was like, once he gets out in front, I have a good shot. I'm going to get it. And it never made it that far. I saw the lipless just spring back, and I'm like, motherfucker. And so then Paul and I had a conversation about the importance of having the right action rod when you're using treble hooks, and why having too fast of an action can be a detriment, because you gotta adjust for that, you know? And the poor guy was crushed. He was absolutely crushed. So I'll tell you one thing. I feel like a lot of the wreck boats that day were like, oh, it's going to storm. We should all go out at 9 a.m. And it was awful, dude. It was so turbulent in the main lake. So we end up over in this one spot, and I'm marking fish, and I'm finding spots, and I'm tossing out. And Paul was following with a Ned, and same thing, like downsized, do nothing plastics were just getting smoked. But they were getting smoked by all these tiny fish. And we're like, all right, whatever. So we hear the thunder. I'm like, let's give it a little bit, wait till it gets a little bit closer. Yeah, it started getting a little bit closer. Started getting quite a bit closer, actually. And so we decided to call it. As we go, we just get on plane, Joe, and the heaviest rain of the day starts fucking dumping right there. We walked out. We walked onto the docks to go grab the truck, and it was like we got pelted by water balloons. It was so bad. Load up the truck. Paul's like, yo, we should grab something to eat. I was like, I think that's a fantastic idea. We went to this gas station nearby, because I told him, I was like, we deserve gas station food. Like, that's what we've earned today. But I didn't tell him that this gas station has an amazing deli counter with fucking unbelievable sandwiches. So we actually ate pretty damn well. Had a good conversation. It was a fun time. Got back. We were free. Like, put it this way, dude. We were in the truck, seat warmers on, full heat going, like trying to warm back up.
Oh, yeah.
I got home and bundled up like it was February. Like I was going out to fucking shovel the driveway. I was so cold. And like, I'm allergic to the cold. You know what I mean? So like, I like break out in hives and shit when I get really cold. And I'm like, it was not pleasant. I'm like, this is not good. So we, that was Saturday. I was like, whatever, it's fine. Saturday was tough. It was tough. And you're going to hear about this from Binya in the tournament look later in this segment. And then that brings us to Sunday. So Sunday, I'm wondering at this point, because that's the thing. This was prefrontal. Like all of the conditions were amazing for them to be just absolutely losing their minds and eating and chasing. And that was not at all going on. Even when the storm hit, like it was like, that's why I was like, let's wait till it gets a little closer and see if they're going to like light up. And it was like, nope. I was like, maybe once the rain really started like hammering them, maybe they did, but like it was not safe for us to be out there. So Sunday, I'm like, yeah, redemption. Let's go. Let's do this. I head up to my local stomping ground, and I launch the boat, and I go and I fish this one area. Had a couple conversations, actually really good conversations with some anglers that were out there. And it was kind of a grind for everybody, but they were able to get them. I say they because I wasn't. I went out to the main river, though, and I started applying this same tactic there. And brother, I fucking did just fine. In fact, I posted a video with this. I landed a nice 15-inch largemouth on a jig right in front of a card-carrying representative of the
White Bucket Brigade.
And I got the whole thing on video. Like, I posted it on YouTube. I posted it on Instagram, like all that stuff. This dude came down, and I was like, this motherfucker is going to cast right where I am. I know he is. And I'm like, before I get pissed off and catch a charge, I am going to, fish this area as thoroughly as possible and then get the hell out. And when I hooked into, there was like, I found some stuff that looked good deep. And I was like, okay, let's see if we can snipe something off of this. Nope, no go. But I did have some brush that was super shallow up against the bank. So I just flipped the jig in there, and then bang, this one fish hit it, and I put it in. And the look on his face when I released that fish, he was crushed. I looked at him right in the face, and I was like, beat it, nerd. So that was cool. I was like, all right, that's not too bad. Fished for a little bit after that, called it, got home, had to work that day. So I was over at Delaney House that night hosting trivia. It was a good time. Interesting postscript there. While I was at trivia, there was a woman that was at a table there who she apparently had been going through it. She told me, she'll overshare. She told me she was recently dumped, and that she didn't have any friends to play trivia with, so she brought a couple of plushies and put them on the table. And I'm not making this up, Joe. This is real.
It's reminding me of that chick I see on TikTok, that the doll mom.
That's pretty much what it reminded me of. So she tells me she's getting ready for trivia. She's like, so, if I need some help, would you mind helping me out as far as getting connected? I was like, absolutely, no problem. She goes, I just recently got dumped. I might just burst into tears. And I was like, you don't want to do that. She was not lying. I went to go help her get connected to the Wi-Fi network, and she just explodes into tears. I was like, God damn it, dude. This is not what they pay me for. But I felt I've never related more to one of the bartenders I work with than ever in my life, because let's be honest, every bartender has played therapist at one time or another for somebody sitting at the bar that's just been going through it. I was like, God damn it. And then I fucked up her team name. It was like Madame something, and she insisted it was Madame and not Madam. And I said Madam, and she fucking corrected me on it.
And I let her know to shut the fuck up.
I let her know right away. So I was like, I'm going to do that, and it's just going to be the way it's going to be. The game was good. It was awesome. That brings us to, so Sunday was rough. That brings us to Monday. I had, the one thing that I had done on Saturday, and this is my favorite thing. After Saturday evening, after dinner and everything's kind of chill, I like to edit the show then. Take my Saturday night when I don't have anything to do and just edit the show, get it together, upload it, schedule it, get it ready. So Monday, it's good to go. I actually went so far as I prepped all my trivia in advance, so I was all set to go. I had nothing to do on Monday whatsoever. So Monday, I go, let's go ahead and let's get out there. Now, I happen to be talking with Adam Ducharme, right? And he's like, yeah, you going out this week? I was like, I'm going out tomorrow. He's like, you want some company? I was like, fuck yes, I do. Let's go. So we head out to a spot where he had just fished with at least one of his sons, maybe a couple more of his kids too. And he had just bought a boat recently. And so we go and we send it. What a grind Monday was, dude. It took forever to figure these fish out. I was catching them on jigs, and they seemed to be all different depths, but it was the whole key was wood. It was just they were relating to wood so heavily. We had super, super light winds with no real clouds to speak of. And it was just, they were tight to cover. So I was throwing jigs. I got Adam throwing one as well. And he was struggling. He caught the biggest one of the day though, on a Senko. He happened to throw a Senko in there, and I took this opportunity to re-spool my jig rod, because I didn't realize the last time I spooled up my jig rod, I must have cut the backing off and just re-spooled it right there, because I was like, where the fuck's the knot? I was waiting to see it, and it's getting lower and lower. Every time I tie in a jig, I was like, where's the fucking knot? There was no knot. So I put some new backing on, some mono backing, and spooled it all up, so we're good to go. But it was a good day on Monday. It was pretty good. And actually, I went out and I grabbed lunch that day to a spot that I was actually supposed to go to with Dean when we had fished a week or so prior, and had myself a little sandwich, and I ordered it as
a little sangy,
little sanguiche. But I had a little bit of concerns because I ordered it as it was on the menu, and it came with lettuce, tomato, and onion. And I was like, "Did you get this lettuce from Taylor Farms? Because if you did." There might be problems. Luckily, we've got no diarrhea parasites in the house so far. So, hey, you know what? I'm going to take that as a win. Focus and discipline, right? I was talking about Oscars. That's where I went. Thank you for not making me the FTG for bailing out on lunch next week. Never, Dean. Never. I would never do that. I will, however, throw
Dean, you piece of shit.
I will, however, throw a former trivia venue under the bus as an FTG for the fuckery that went down yesterday. We'll cross that bridge in a moment. No, that'll be an FTG. What am I talking about? So then that brings us to Tuesday. I didn't fish. Wednesday, I went out with Holly. Holly and I, she's like, I don't have any visits on Tuesday or Wednesday. She's like, what do you say we go Wednesday? Dude, these fish would not eat a damn thing. We went back to the Connecticut River, right? And we found fish. They would follow. They just wouldn't commit. And I realized something about Holly, and this is a lot of anglers fall into this. They want to fish the way they want to fish. You know what I mean? She wants to chuck and wind no matter what.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And it's I understand that. I do. But with that, that's a hard road to follow. Like, you know, I mean, she wants to chuck and wind. Something amazing happened. So I implemented this thing I've been messing with. And you're going to hear about this in just the tip. I'm going to tell you exactly what I was doing and how it works out. But I implemented this. And I heard my wife say something I've never heard. She was like,
"You are the greatest angler I've ever known."
Because I was like, oh, this looks good. This looks good here. I think there's fish probably relating to it. And I was calling my shots and casting to structure with a drop shot. And I was catching fish after fish after fish, like in repetition, until I've cycled all the way through them. And then I was like, okay, we'll go to the next spot. And where we had actually gone back to another spot where we had follows and stuff. And I was like, I'm just curious. And at this point, she was like, she had already pulled out the book because they weren't eating a swim bait. She's like, no, I'm going to just hang out and read. But she said the nicest thing. She's like, I'm having a good time just hanging out with you. She's like, so whether I'm catching them or not, like, this is great. I was like, that is fucking awesome. I'm like, that's great. Because I don't want her to get frustrated and be like, this sucks. Let's just go out for coffee and you can go fish afterwards or something. So it's been really good. So I was pretty impressed. She was amazed at my skill set, and I can't say
I don't blame her, you know.
And it was pretty badass. We went out, we had lunch at a local spot, Donovan's, and then Trivia Tuesday, the whole 9 yards, or Trivia Wednesday. What am I talking about? And then Thursday was a mess. You'll hear about that in FTG. One of the things that we did this week was we had a dumpster delivered. This was actually on Tuesday. Every couple of years we do this, where we'll purge everything in the house.
Same.
And
Same.
It's a good idea. The problem is that the dumpster goes where my boat gets parked. So I don't know if this is the best idea. I had been parking the boat in front of the house, which is fine. I've got like a nice long extension cord. I can run out there. I can still charge it and everything. This is one of the things that's pretty awesome about using that black pack for my tackle. Pick it up, put it in my truck. It's locked up. Nobody can touch it. You know what I mean? It's awesome. Like when it's in the backyard, I usually just leave it right in the boat. It's fine. But when it's out in front of the house, I'm like, nobody's fucking with anything. It's fine. Whatever.
Dude, Bobby, I got a new hack.
Oh, a new hack.
This is what we did recently.
Okay.
We found these kids that started like a junk pickup business.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Dude, I'll never get a dumpster again. I just call these guys, and it's like half the price of the dumpster.
Really?
I just make a pile of shit. They come and put it in there, send me an invoice on fucking whatever, and see you later.
No shit.
Yep.
Huh.
Couple young kids fucking killing it, like probably like in their early 20s. Yeah.
Just freaking grinding, huh? Good for them,
Just
dude.
grinding,
That's awesome.
dude. You just make a pile. They come in. Dude, the last one, I had a pile, and then I was like, for the next time, like, I have some stuff in the back, like behind the shed that I'll bring up and have you, they're like, we'll go get it right now. And they fucking went back there. They grabbed it all, dude. It just cheaper than having the dumpster for a week.
Shit.
That's for sure.
That's awesome, dude.
Yep.
That's freaking great. Well, it's something to keep in mind.
Yep.
So we got that. So this is what I'm doing right now. Like Holly and I are going out of town this weekend, and I went out and I picked up some proper wheel chocks. Right. My driveway is at a slight incline. Like it's not a crazy steep hill or anything. But the dumpster, like, it's parked on kind of an incline there, and I have the wheel chocks in there, and I'm putting a lot of fucking faith in them, dude. I really am. Like, the trailer, it's fine. It's been sitting there with no problem. It hasn't moved at all. But, like, my cooler's in the back there, and my daughter says, oh, yeah, Dad, do you have any Diet Cokes in your cooler? I was like, yes. But I go, can you reach over and get into the cooler? And she's like, oh, yeah, I don't get in the boat. I was like, good, don't. I was like, I would not get into the boat until it's hooked up to the truck again. I was like, just in case. I'm like, just in case. Like, let's just be smart about this. So yeah, I was like, I put a lot of faith in those chocks, and they're doing fine. They're doing just fine. So this brings us to, where was I? Friday today. So I went out today and I did something Thursday night that I usually don't do. I was like, you guys choose my adventure. Tell me where I'm going to go. Am I going to fish a local river or am I going to go fish a lake up the Shears? And up the Shears won. And then I was like, both of those places have pike and smallies. What am I targeting? Pike or smallmouth? And everybody said smallmouth. Spoiler alert, I didn't catch a single smallmouth today. But I get up there and I'm like, let's go ahead. We'll send it. I got up crazy early, hit the road, looking to go and get that topwater bite. And it was so calm when I got out there. Like, you know, those mornings where it was like, dude, up there, it was 48 this morning.
It was chilly this morning, bro.
It was 48. I was out there in a hoodie. I was like, this is nice. I was only in that hoodie for about 45 minutes. And then I was like, all right, now it's starting to warm up. We got to take this thing off. And, got everything all together, fished a bunch. I started out throwing, I picked up these wake baits from Dark Horse Tackle from Black Label. And these are cool. Like I haven't, I don't dabble with wake baits like crazy. Like I throw a lot of like big rat wakes and like some like typical like crankbait style wakes with the wake blade bill rather in the front. These are like, they're shaped like a walking bait. Like they're more of like a cigar shape, and they have 3 trebles, which I don't see very often. But what's cool about these wakes is they actually walk. Like you just crank them along and they make a wake, but they do walk the dog. Like they kick back and forth real wide. So I was like, we'll start here. I don't think this is going to be like, but we're not whopping and a plopping. There's not enough chop. My thought was it was going to be that, a floating jerk, or a popper. Nope. They wouldn't eat on top. They just would not eat on top. So I was fishing and actually I fucked up this week. I meant to do Monday, the live while I was out fishing with Adam. Cell service wouldn't let me do it. And then I was like, Tuesday I'll do the live. Totally flaked on that because the dumpster was arriving and all that shit. So then it gets to like, I was like, I didn't want to do the live while I was out with Holly because I don't want her to, I'm focused on like making sure she's having the best fishing experience possible. I failed that day, but I'm like, last thing I want to do is be on my phone for this live. So I was like, wait a minute. I know I've got good service up there. I'll just go ahead and do that. We'll see what happens. It worked out great. I am going to test it with my mics, my Hollyland mics, to see if the audio can be a little bit better, and I may try a different camera position, but it worked out pretty good. It was pretty badass. So I hit it there. I was while I was doing the live, I was in about like 7 or 8 feet of water with submerged weeds, and I threw a bunch of shit at them. Like this is what I had tied on today. Like my topwater rod had those 3 baits tied on at one point or another, and then also a weightless fluke. Now, that weightless fluke is going to come into play later. I also had a Ned. I had a drop shot. I had a wacky on one of my bait finesse combos. I had a jig. I had a finesse swim bait. I had a glide and a downsized spinner bait on one of my other moving rods. So I'm like, I know some of this stuff is just not going to jive. Like there's not enough wind. We have shit cloud cover out here. We'll see what happens. I decided I would throw that Ned just to see how it went. And I hooked up with the first Larry of the day. So I got one largemouth in there on this little Ned. I was like, okay, cool. Maybe it's just the super downsized stuff. Maybe that's what they want. I caught another Larry on a drop shot. And I was like, all right, this is cool. This is all right. We'll keep looking around. So I go and I employ that tactic, right? I'm looking around for spots. And I'm looking around for stuff that just looks juicy. And I didn't fish the bank at all. I mean, well, with success. I attempted to fish the bank to see if they were up shallow. They were not. But dude, bait everywhere. Bluegill, perch, like you name it. Bait everywhere. Visibly able to see them. Able to see it on my electronics. I was like, this is insane. Like, is it just that these fish are satiated and they're the drive to hunt and to eat just isn't there? I was like, I have no idea. So I'm fishing this one point and I'm throwing my drop shot, and I'm with this, like where the point starts to really drop off, like right at the end of the point where it really starts to kind of drop off, and I'm fishing. There's like nothing. I can barely feel anything on the bottom. I think it's all just sand down there. And I'm like, all right, well, this is no good. So I'm reeling it back in. Dude, a giant follows it right to the boat. And I'm like,
Fuck you, man.
I'm like, you gotta be shitting me. So I fish around that area a little bit more. I don't give it too much time. I was like, all right, we'll move on. We'll make a couple of changes. Nothing. At this point, the wreck boats are out. Wake boats everywhere. Big old wake boat. Never had a skier or a boarder on the back of it. I don't know what they were doing. I think they were just burning through gas. Just 'cause that's fun.
Just being assholes.
Yeah, just being douches, you know? So I make my way over to this one area, and the same thing. Like, I'm looking for grass. And I don't know if at this lake they nuke the grass like they do at some other lakes, but it was looking like they might because a lot of it looked shitty, you know? So I'm fishing this one area, and this is the one real good thing that kind of went down. So that's the thing. I caught a 12.5-inch crappie on a drop shot while I was there. That was pretty fucking cool. I was like, we're going to measure this. We're going to see if this is a pinfish or not. Nope. But an absolute beast. And this was cool because I did see this fish on my electronics. And I was like, yep, yoink. I saw him and some friends too. But once I got him in the boat, I was like, all right, you're not what I'm looking for. We're going to move on. So I get to this one spot. It's about 10 foot deep, submerged weeds. And these weeds actually look pretty good. And when I say I saw a lot of bait, it was like clouds of bait. So I had taken that weightless fluke, and I took it off of that EWG because I like to run my flukes like that on like a 5/0 EWG. And I run it so that the knot gets buried inside the nose of that bait. And I like a 5/0 because that hook point is that much further down, you know, and it's a little bit heavier, so it falls a little bit better. And then I was like, let me just try something just for shits and giggles. I'd never done this before, Joe. You know how you like to run a fluke nose hooked on a wacky hook?
Yeah.
I took my bait finesse combo and I just took that hook out and I popped that on. The action is stupid, man. It's so
stupid,
good.
Right?
I'm like, what the fuck? The problem is this was one of those big, like 5-inch super flukes.
Yeah.
Dude, they would not get the hook. That fluke is so rubbed raw on the top from the teeth of these fish.
Yeah.
They would not get that far up.
You know what would have worked really well?
What's that?
A 4-inch like Sakamata shad or something.
Yeah, something like that. A little bit shorter probably would have done the deal.
Yep.
So I was like, all right, so whatever. So I'm throwing this around, but it got me thinking because the way I was fishing this was like a jerkbait, you know, just twitch, let it sit. Twitch, let it sit. And I saw these eats. Like I saw the bass come up out of, and there was clouds of bluegill like following this. And I saw this one bass come up out of the grass and just grab onto that fluke. And I was like, does he have the hook? And I reel down, I give him the beans. Fluke comes right back out at me. I was like, you bitch. This happened 2 other times. And I was like, I've been saying that, like, I won't say that I've been throwing the glide every single trip because sometimes I don't. But the majority of times I go out, I throw a glide. Either one of the smaller like BFS glides that I've got, like the Bait Sanity stuff, or most of the time it's like in that 6-inch window, something like that. So today I threw the Sleepwalker from Dropout Supply. This is that glide that Matt from Small Ponds Big Dreams had sent over to me, and I got my first strike. I've gotten follows on a couple of different glides, and in some ways, like, that's all I really need to know that they're doing their job, because that once I can tell that there's fish there, I can go and grab them with something else. You know what I mean? I can dial it down. But if these fish are going to show themselves, it helps. Dude, I got a tap, and it was like, the way I was working this glide was like I was doing like half turns, and this glide chops so unbelievably well, surprisingly well. And I'm doing these half turn rotations, and it's just like shink, shink, shink. And as I went to go and turn for one of them, I felt the bang, felt the hit. And as soon as I felt it, it was gone. Like, I tried to lean into it. I was like, all right, cool. Nope. He just was not there. I was like, you motherfucker. So we'll keep going. But I will say in July, like I'm not thinking I'm going to throw a glide. Like that's not where my head's at. Springtime, low light, stuff like that. I know you can catch them on glides in the summer. I know you can. A lot of what I've looked into has been like take the lead wire and wrap it around the hooks to get it to sink a little bit more, something like that. But if you're fishing in the right depth, like I couldn't believe it. I was like, this is an actual strike. This is awesome. I was totally overjoyed. And then Janelle called me for like the second or third time today. We were on the phone a lot, Janelle and I. She's been going through it. There's life happening for Janelle. So this was a good conversation, but it was right afterwards. I was like, Janelle, I got to tell you, I got my first strike on a glide. She's like, oh, good for you. That's awesome. That's great. So yeah, that was pretty badass. I got home today, did a couple errands, and here we are, guys. And I will not be fishing this weekend. I'm gonna get out as often as I can Monday through Friday next week, but I'm not going out. Shit, Thursday I've got plenty of time. I'm gonna have big send on Thursday. Big send. I don't care if it's a fucking hurricane. I'm going out because I got nothing to do that night. It's gonna be good.
And then we. Oh no, that's the following week. Hoodlum Cast is the following week.
Oh, Hoodlum Fest is going to be insane.
Or Hoodlum Fest, yeah.
Oh, and actually, I should say this because it's not this weekend, but when this show drops, this show will be dropping on the 28th, which means that the Saturday after you're hearing this, guys, after this show drops, is the Swim Bait Farmers Market at Tackle Box Brewing in I think it's Framingham. Boston Anglers is going to be there. A whole bunch of other vendors, a whole bunch of other bait makers are going to be, talking shop and selling their wares and all kinds of good stuff. It starts early in the day. It starts at like noon. So head on out. It's going to be great. My wife and kids are going for a beach trip this weekend. So I'm going to be there. Yeah, I'm going to go up and be there. I don't think we're doing like a show. I don't think we're recording there or anything like that, Joe. I talked a little bit with Matt about it, but I have no idea if they're even expecting us to do anything. So,
yeah, I'm actually looking. It's in Marlboro.
It's in Marlboro. In Marlboro. We're not, I know this much. We're not doing like a booth or anything like that. So we're not listed on anything. I bring this up because I will have to bring Eleanor if we're recording. I'm gonna have to bring Eleanor. Because I won't be able to leave her here alone for that long. So either that or I'm gonna just go and do like a walkthrough for a few hours and then come home. Which is probably what I'm gonna end up doing if we're not like recording up there or anything like that. That's fine. In fact, we could record. We have flexibility to record next week. Yeah, we really do. There's a little bit of flexibility. I mean, Friday night's always a great night. I have no issue with that. But so it's just crazy. It's just been a busy week. And then the following week is Hoodlum Fest, which is going to be nuts. And I do want to mention this, guys, because so far, the turnout for the BCRF fundraiser, like the Hoodlum, it's branded as Hoodlum Fest so that you guys can be a part of Hoodlum Fest, even though you can't necessarily be there. So we're doing the slot on the 8th, and it's the cheapest entry fees for the slot ever. It's $10, and that is 100% being donated to BCRF. We have a bunch of prizes, and the winners aren't winning stuff; they're winning entries into the raffle. So this is why I bring this up. I'm going to put the link in the description of this podcast. Regardless if you're going to fish the tournament or not, maybe you don't even have a catch board. That's fine. You should enter the tournament. And this is the reason why. Even if you don't fish, you will have an entry in the raffle. So you can win prizes just by donating $10 to BCRF. And I mean, let's be honest, like breast cancer has affected so many people that and it's hit home close for a lot of folks that we're close with. So it only seems like the right thing to do. So I would highly recommend you guys enter the derb. I'm going to put the link in the description so you guys can enter it. Regardless if you fish or not, the only thing that the winners would win would be additional entries to the raffle. But already right now, we have more prizes than we have people entered. Already.
Bobby.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk about it now. We have an after party location locked in.
We do.
Sealed deal. It's sealed deal. I didn't tell you this yet.
The after party location? Yeah, I know where it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nope, it's locked in. We're ready. listen to this one, guys. I am bringing the Hookset Hoodlums. Now that I think of it, I'm like, man, this might be a bad
idea, Joe.
On my base that I am stationed at, we have a bar, an NCO club that we call it. And I was like, all my 24 years of service, I've never used it. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. You just pay for the bartender, which is, I think, $10 an hour. Plus tip.
Geez, that's nothing. That's awesome.
That's nothing, dude. So it's like, I'm going to bring all the hoodlums right onto base, right onto, America freedom soil. And we're going to have a good time, man. Dude, wait till you see it. There's like old decommissioned like bombs in there.
Oh,
shit, it's awesome.
Dude, I can only imagine. I was actually talking with Adam about it. He's like,
you should invite Adam over.
Maybe I will. Maybe
he can help me babysit.
I think that might be the situation. Speaking of Hoodlum Fest, we've had a number of people. I had to password protect that derb. Like that one there.
That's right. Yeah, I got your text. Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. So I think, Joe, did you already log?
I haven't yet. They just reminded me I got to get on there and do the thing.
So there are 16 people logged in, but I don't think Cody is one of them.
I know he said he's coming and come hell or high water.
And I don't think I see Jay Manning in here either. I thought he was going. Jay Manning.
I hope so. I'll just call Jay.
Joel Melendez posted in the group chat today. He was like, yeah, I guess his kayak is busted. So if we have somebody, unfortunately, I don't have space on my boat because I've got Ken on one day and I believe I've got Joe Mazzaferro on Saturday on my boat.
Yeah.
So we may need to, I even said to Holly, I was like, if you want to come, you can come. I'm like, 100%, you can come with us. I was like, but I'm like, it might be a little crowded on the boat. And she's like, nah, I'm not going to go to that. She's like, that might be a bit too much. I am going to try to badger her to join us for the party. Because I think Holly could be a hoodlum. Hoodlum Holly.
Hell yeah, Meg's going to be there.
It could be friggin' awesome. I know there's going to be a couple of the better halves, we'll say.
Yep, that could be like a dude, I invited a couple of my like fishing military buddies to come. Like, dude, it's gonna be the bartender. She's awesome.
I'll tell Adam and Leah. They both fish. They'd love this shit.
Oh my god, I'm gonna tell you a funny story right now.
Yeah,
because I haven't told you yet.
Okay, all right.
All right. So, my base, we recently received 5th gen fighters, the F-35. It's no secret. It's all over the fucking news. I'm sure Bobby's seen it a bajillion times.
Oh, yeah.
And so I told them, hey, we're going to be doing a little podcast recording. They're like, hey, is there any media or anything like that? And they're like, okay, we may just have to review the video and the audio before you release it, just to make sure there's nothing about the jets or anything. And I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah, we got you. So, dude, we're just gonna I just want to make like a quick 10-minute fake recording.
Yes. Okay. Yes. 100%. Okay. That'll be awesome
to give to them, and then we'll do but we'll actually do the good one.
We'll do the real one. Oh, that's a great idea, man.
Yeah.
That'd be fucking hilarious.
Dude, so fucking. I was like, you want? I was like, we're not even doing video. I was like, you want to hear a record? What do you think we're gonna give away trade secrets in our fishing podcast? You fucking morons.
They're gonna be no. You know what they want? They want our fishing spots. That's what they want.
Right.
Like, do you guys embed waypoints? Do you embed waypoints in your show? Is that how it works?
Oh, you gotta tell Adam that. He'll get a kick out of that.
I will, yeah, dude. Yeah, I'll drop the invite to them as well, because I think, especially for the party, I say the more the fucking merrier. You know what I mean?
Yeah, in that place, it's open all the time.
We may end up needing to pass a hat, because part of what the registration for this is, it's just to for the food and everything. I have no idea any of that stuff at all. I am at my end of responsibility for like what we know. It's basically the derb, and that's pretty much all I'm running right there.
I got the party, dude. I got it.
That's what I'm saying.
I got it. Good. I'm working it with Drew. We got this, dude. We got this. I'm taking. Don't you worry, Bobby.
There is,
and because I know no one from work listens to this.
Yeah.
Because technically, when people come on base, you're supposed to run their backgrounds.
Oh, of course.
But I'm in charge of that shit. So I'm like, oh yeah, I'm also gonna do that.
Yeah. Oh, definitely, I'm gonna do that. Sure.
Yep. Got it all. Yep. Everybody good to go.
Checks out. Imagine that.
Yeah. But I am hoping to at least be able to show people some cool shit if they want to while we're there. So
that's awesome, dude. That'll be fun.
I know Cody loves that shit, dude. So I at least can't go look at the jets because of what security they are now. Unfortunately, the F-15s, like, we used to be able to do whatever, but these ones you unfortunately can't. But yeah, I don't know why, but I'll maybe I'll bring Cody into the guys into the armory or something, show them some cool shit. Especially
the historical elements of that. Like, he's gonna eat that shit up. He's big into that.
Yep. So it's funny. Joe is CID and used to be, buddy.
Used to be. Oh, it's gonna be good.
Not no more.
It's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to Hoodlum Fest. But seriously, guys, for the raffle alone, donate by registering for the tournament. Whether you fish or not, you have an opportunity to win some amazing stuff.
Yeah,
and we do. We have more prizes than we have people entered. The slots have this way of people just waiting until like a few days beforehand before they enter. And I would like to see this get to be like over 100 entries. I really would. I don't think it's going to happen, but it would be great if we could, get there. So all that information will be linked in the description of the show, of the podcast. Go ahead, register, do it. You have until like the Friday beforehand. Register. It'll be awesome. In fact, I might even extend that and let people do a day of. At least while we're fishing, while we're on the water. After the party, like before we record, I'm going to have to go set up the raffle and everything. And that's going to take a minute, but it shouldn't be too bad. So yeah, that was my week. Joe, we had in the hotline, we had a group text going this week. Is this headline what I think it is?
Yes.
Yeah, this is a good one. So you guys we talk about this body of water a lot. Buckle the fuck up, literally.
This is a good one. Bobby. So let's set the stage here. Let's set it.
Yep.
So, Bobby, imagine you're fishing out on the St. Lawrence River, right? Maybe you're idling through a no-wake zone, casting around a shoal, and then all of a sudden, a 50-foot catamaran absolutely screams past you at 157 miles per hour at the American Narrows of the St. Lawrence River. Yeah. Because that's exactly what happened during the Thousand Islands charity poker run this past weekend.
Yep.
Now, first, let's clear something up. A poker run's not a race, guys. It's the same thing for guys who do motorcycles. Yep. If you ever done a motorcycle poker run, it's the same thing. The fastest boat doesn't win. Instead, teams travel from checkpoint to checkpoint collecting playing cards.
Yeah.
Okay. And the best poker hand at the end takes home the prize. The whole event is built around raising money for charity. And this year's run benefited the Make-A-Wish Foundation and several other local organizations. But one team decided to make headlines for a completely different reason.
They did.
According to New York State Police, one of the boats, a 50-foot turbine-powered catamaran, turbine power, guys, that's basically a jet engine,
really,
was clocked at an unbelievable 157 miles per hour near the Thousand Islands Bridge.
That's insane.
dude, I'm not even mad because it's so impressive. But here's the problem. The stretch of river is a 30 mile per hour. This stretch of river is a 30 mile per hour zone. The American Narrows is a 30 mile per hour zone, which I will tell you right now, it's not marked on my GPS, and I don't think I've ever abided by that. So no.
Luckily for me, the implication tops out at 30 miles an hour.
Yeah. So it wasn't, speed limit's not 60. It's not 80.
Nope.
It's 30.
He was more than five times over. Shit.
The boat was traveling 127 miles per hour over the speed limit.
That's insane.
Event organizers say they spend a lot of time making sure every team understands the rules. Drivers receive emails before the event, attend mandatory safety meetings, and everyone is reminded that the slow zones are there for a reason.
Yep.
At 157 miles per hour, there's almost no time to react if another boat, jet ski, or fisherman suddenly appears. On water, things happen fast enough at normal speeds. At triple-digit speeds, even a small mistake can become catastrophic. Because guys, girls, don't forget, boats don't have brakes.
Yep.
The team received 6 violations, and while one member initially said nobody had been arrested, New York State Park Police later confirmed that one person was arrested for reckless operation. Under the event's rules, the team has also been banned from returning to compete in future poker runs. To the team's credit, they didn't try to make excuses. One of the team members publicly apologized, saying they became confused about where they were on the river.
I'll bet you they did.
Admitted the mistake was entirely on them and said they hoped to turn a negative situation to something positive. They got confused too. They thought they were still in the 150 mile per hour zone.
I know. What would that even look like? 150 miles an hour zone.
Dude, and Bobby, you've been on that fucking river.
In that stretch.
I get in that stretch, dude, and so, guys, what you have to understand is there's so many current breaks in that area. Like the current's like swirling. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes.
Yep. So it's when I go through there at like 60 miles an hour, there's points where it feels like my boat is fishtailing from that current. Here's the crazy part. If you're into offshore power boats, 157 miles per hour is an incredible speed.
It is.
These are some of the fastest recreational boats on the planet, powered by a massive turbine engine that produces thousands of horsepower, Bobby. Thousands. With a T. But there's a time and a place for that kind of speed in crowded, restricted section of the St. Lawrence River. During a charity event, definitely isn't it? Especially, pal. Dude, that's the same area where you have all those tour boats that put off 6-foot wakes, dude. You got all the freighters, all of that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It's a reminder that no matter how powerful your boat is, safety has to come first. The event has built an incredible reputation over the years for raising money and showcasing some of the wildest performance boats you'll ever see. Hopefully this becomes a lesson learned rather than something much worse. So what do you think? What do you think, Bobby?
So,
150, you'd be death gripping anything. I would be death grip. I was in a Blazer on that stretcher doing 75 and I was death gripping.
Jesus Christ, dude. Yeah, I couldn't even imagine going that fast. Like I think the fastest I've ever been on a bass boat was 70.
Yep.
And that was enough. There was enough puckering for me, at that speed. I for the life of me can't understand why that sounds like a good idea. Have you ever followed the Instagram page Bay Rippers?
Oh yeah, I'm very familiar with the Bay Rippers. The Bay Rippers.
Oh yeah.
Matt Shilgren's boys.
Yep. That's like Bay Rippers material. Like, that's crazy.
Dude, I wish I haven't
157.
seen one yet. I wish there was a video of it just so I can get like an idea.
I was
like,
just looking. I was like, oh, this is a poker run video. And it's not. It's from Winnipesaukee.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like,
I looked at it. I couldn't find it. It won't. I bet you there's one out there. It just hasn't hit yet.
Yeah, I'll bet you they're going to put
There's
something
no way someone sees a boat going 157 miles. What's the first thing you do?
Well, I'm thinking about the boat, not just like the video of the boat, like from the third person, but I'm thinking somebody
you mean inside.
Yeah, I think somebody was running a video in there. Like, why would you do that and not record it?
I'm sure.
We'll probably see.
We'll see it after all the charges and everything happen. And
once everything's done, because I'm sure it's considered evidence. You know what I mean? So,
right.
I'm sure it's considered evidence.
Exactly.
That's wild.
But at least they didn't deny. But dude, I just can't. I wish the listeners that haven't been on the St. Lawrence River could like. Because dude, you got all the islands. There's so many shoals and like. Going 100, like doing 60, you can be like, oh shit, there's a buoy. You know what I mean? So doing
or like you nailed it. Those islands, like you have a boat that's coming out like from there, like just a little at the wrong time.
Kayakers, dude, fucking, it's.
It would be Benny that would get
dude.
crushed.
This story kind of makes me like, but I'm not mad. It's almost like it's so
I'm
impressive.
Yeah,
it's just so impressive. Because that is such a sketchy stretch of water. There's a reason why it's 30 miles an hour. It's so sketchy. There's so many hazards there.
It's amazing that they did it, but they pulled it off. In a charity tournament, that's even more insane, Eli says. He goes, I wonder if you could launch another boat. Maybe. 1 to 150, I'd be death gripping anything in sight. I can't even imagine that. That's crazy.
Oh my gosh, dude. And I get it. These guys are probably racing professionals and kind of do this all the time.
I'm sure they do it exactly. Like for probably just for social media, you know, and they're just like.
So here's the thing. Okay, so here it was one of two things, Bobby. It was a couple guys who are like, you know, semi-professionals probably, because I've seen pictures of the boat. It didn't look like a straight up. It didn't have like sponsors and shit. It didn't look like.
Yeah.
So it's either like some guys that have these race boats, very professional, very, you know, skilled. Or it was a couple dudes who've been banging Bud Lights all day.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking these are like guys with a garage that like to tinker, and they're like, hey, how fast do you think we can get this to go?
And they just got a couple guys with a shit ton of money.
Yep.
Drinking fucking Bud lattes all day. We're like, looked at each other and just kind of nodded and just fucking put that shit full bore, full blast.
It's a little fucking insane, to be perfectly honest.
Dude.
It really is.
Yeah.
But hey, man, you know, thank goodness nothing really terrible happened, because you know that you could decapitate somebody at that point. Like it could be really, really bad.
Dude, literally just turn them into pink mist.
Exactly. Could you imagine poor Chris Mellowship out on his kayak? Like, oh, it was a really big.
No way.
Oh no, hold on. Todd says found the video. Oh my goodness.
Todd, can you send it to us?
Yeah, send it over to us, Todd. I will put this link in the description of the podcast as well, so you guys can see exactly what the hell it is that we're talking about. Because he says, "Oh, found the video." Yeah, there's no way they weren't recording it. Whether they're guys that own like a shop and they were like, "Yeah, let's fucking get some buzz," or they're just dudes that were tinkering and seeing like how fast can we get this sucker to go.
No, I've seen the boat, Bobby. It's a straight up like one of those racing like big ass cigarette boats.
It's crazy.
It was probably the same dude driving. Remember that video that was famous like 15 years ago of all it was like fucking 6 people in the boat and they fucking got all knocked around and shit.
Oh, Jim. I think it's Jim Jonky or Jonk. It's on Instagram. It's on Instagram. Holy shit.
No way. Can you share it with me, Bobby? I gotta see this. I gotta see it live.
I will. I'll send it to you right now, Joe. There we go. It's in your DMs.
Hell yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and put the audio up. I'm going to put the link here, everybody, so you can see it.
Yeah, okay, it is a straight up racing boat going under the bridge, dude.
That's insane.
It doesn't, guys, like that video doesn't give 157 miles an hour justice. I mean, that's a 50-foot boat, dude. That's more than double the size of my boat. That's 2.5 of my boats long.
That's crazy, dude. That's insane. Holy shit balls. All right, yeah, 100%.
We got it. We got it, Todd.
Yeah, I'm gonna put this on. I'm gonna put it on the. I'm gonna put that link in the description so you guys can check it out. That is freaking insane. Could you imagine for a second, like just pulling out of one of those little backwater areas around an island and seeing that, like not being like where you're like, holy shit. But like there was a moment last Sunday where I was on the river and I counted 8 or 9 wreck boats, wake boats, pontoons, jet skis, like shit like that, wreck boats like crazy. And I was like, where are you running from? Is there some kind of like a disaster? You guys are all coming from the same direction. It didn't make any sense. But could you imagine if you just saw that coming along your way and you were like totally in the clear, but you're like, holy fucking shit. Like that's got to take your breath away. That's crazy.
Dude.
I don't even know, man.
Sick.
I don't even know. So yeah, keep it in between the navigational buoys if you could, please. At
please.
You know, a regular rate of speed. But we got Binya. And Binya's got a little derb update here for you about the duo and also the slot from last week. Spoiler alert, your boy didn't even land on the board.
Hey everyone, Binya here with a tournament standings update for July. We did complete our July slot series. We had 2 winners in this event. Daryl Bentley coming in at 146.5 inches and Jerry House coming in with 279.5. A little bit lower turnout this month, so we only had 2 winners, but some definite good showings. Most anglers were able to at least put in a few fish in that event. For our monthly series, we have 5 current anglers in the money. Coming in at 5th place, we have Team Geronimo with 98.5 inches. Tied with Team Geronimo is, and I'm not sure how to say this name, so Team PROULX. If you want to tell me how to pronounce that, I'll be happy to do that in the next one at 98.5 inches. Sticky Rice, 102.25. Total Pirates, one of the new teams in the series, at 103.25, and MYA at 106. There's still a few days left as of this recording of the tournament, so I will not be surprised to see these change up again. But so far, it looks like you're going to need 100 inches if you want to get in the money in this one. Back to you guys.
I talked to Cheryl Bentley after the derb, and she's like, this was so much fun. It was great. And I was like, she did 145 or 146. That's awesome. And congrats, Cheryl. Awesome. Jerry is an animal. Like Jerry, when I see Jerry House in a tournament, the first thing I think of is just like, fuck. I know I'm making a donation at that point. I mean, obviously, because I'm clearly a joke as a tournament angler. But, so congratulations to the 2 of them. Easily going to need 100 inches in order to get into the money. We are, at the time of recording, we're recording this show. It's July the 24th. That was recorded 2 days ago on the 22nd. So we still have a little bit of time left. Things can happen. So who knows? Joe's going out this weekend. And he's going to catch all 20s, and that's going to help. That's all we need. He's going to cull every single one of my fish. It's going to be great.
Yep.
I'm looking forward to it. I really am. My boy said Pay Lakes sucked that day too. Really? I'd be pissed. I'd be pissed if they sucked. Oh man, that'll get John Higgins fired up. 100%. I think we need to do a Pay Lake special. I still kind of want to do an undercover Pay Lake visit.
Wear like fake mustaches.
Yeah, wear like, yeah, exactly. We'll wear like the glasses, the mustaches, and the fake nose. And it'll be like every time there's somebody says, "Who are you guys?" It'll be like, "Oh,
Dave Urkey, how you doing?"
I was just gonna say they're gonna be like, "Hey, look, it's the Wolf of Walmart."
It's the Wolf of Walmart. Oh my God. Maybe we should, yeah.
Do we even have any pay lakes?
Not in mass, but it's not far
I don't
to
even know
go.
where the closest one is.
I mean, like, from what I understand, like, Ohio is teeming with some quality ones. Every once in a while, John will send me a headline where, like, one of the owners is, like, being charged or something like that. Like, it's always, dude, it's just drama. It's crazy. I don't even understand how that's fishing, but let's take a quick break, guys. We're almost an hour and a half into this first segment. We're going to flip this around, and we have a handful of things going on in segment number 2. Number 1, we've got just the tip. We're going to be talking about electronics and the tech that you already have. Like, have you actually mastered it? Or are you waiting for like that next thing? And you're gonna learn it all then. We're gonna talk about that. We got a broke on the boat that ties in with that all, and then a couple of FTGs. One of these is a doozy. We'll see you guys in a bit. Don't go too far. More Jigs and Bigs goodness coming up right after this.
Traditional banks are making it harder than ever to secure a small business loan. That's why thousands of business owners trust Cardiff for same-day funding. With over 2 decades of expertise, business owners keep voting Cardiff America's favorite small business lender. Apply now for up to $500,000 in same-day business funding at cardiff.co/Spotify. Again, that's cardiff.co/Spotify. Cardiff, borrow better.
The award-winning American Airlines Advantage program rewards more than travel. It takes your whole life to new heights. Earn miles when you fly, as well as with thousands of your favorite brands. And then redeem those miles for flights, upgrades, and experiences worldwide. Advantage members also enjoy earlier boarding and free high-speed Wi-Fi in flight. Join for free and start earning towards your next adventure at aa.com/Spotify.
Even if you're using topical prescription creams for your child's eczema, you still might be hearing this. That relentless itching that makes them want to scratch and scratch and scratch and scratch. When their moderate to severe eczema isn't well controlled, it's time to ask about Dupixent, dupilumab, which isn't a cream, steroid, or immunosuppressant. Dupixent helps kids as young as 6 months stay ahead of their eczema with clearer skin and noticeably less itch. Severe allergic reactions, including skin reactions, can occur. Get help right away for face, mouth, tongue, or throat swelling, wheezing, or trouble breathing. Tell your doctor right away of new or worsening eye problems like eye pain or vision changes, skin symptoms, joint aches and pain, or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop other treatments without talking to your doctor. Dupixent helps your child feel the heal. Ask your child's eczema specialist. Visit Dupixent.com or call 1-844-DUPIXENT.
Perhaps play a little game called Just the Tip. Just for a second, just to see how it feels. Or, ouch, ouch, you're on my hair.
Okay.
You know, this week on Just the Tip, I want to challenge the way some of us think about electronics on our boats and on our kayaks. I hear this kind of stuff all the time.
Man, I'd be catching more fish if I just had forward-facing sonar. I need a new graph before I can really learn offshore fishing. Once I upgrade, then I'll start looking for structure.
But here's the question I want to ask. Have you really learned everything your current unit is actually capable of? Because if that answer is no, then a new graph is probably not the answer. I think a lot of anglers are overlooking some incredibly powerful tools that have been around for a lot of years. I'm talking about 2D sonar, down scan, side scan, and GPS mapping. These technologies have been helping tournament anglers find fish long before Mega 360 or live sonar was ever even in the equation. And here's the system I've been using lately, and honestly, it's been really kind of opening my eyes. when I pull into a new area or I'm looking offshore because I have no idea what's going on, and I'm getting there and I'm not immediately trying to fish it. What I'm doing is I'm trying to break it down and learn what's happening. So I'll put my unit on side scan and then I just start to idle and kind of cover it. About like 3 miles an hour, nothing crazy. Side scan is like, it lets you see like way more water than what's directly under your boat. It's literally, like pun intended, a wider view. You're looking to the left and the right. Sometimes like, 50, 60, 80, up to like 160, 200 feet sometimes on either side, depending on conditions. And I'm not there looking for fish specifically. What I'm looking for is anything that's different. Maybe it's a brush pile, a rock pile, a stump, a hard bottom transition, maybe a ditch or something, an isolated boulder, or even just a school of bait. If something on that view catches my eye, even if I don't necessarily know exactly what it is, what I'll do is I'll just drop a waypoint and I'll save it. And a lot of people forget this. When you go onto your side scan or even your down scan and you drop a waypoint, it links it to your map. And that's helpful. Once that's there, what I do is I switch over to this other screen that I just created on my graph, which is a split screen with my map and down scan. And then I drive back over every one of those waypoints in succession. And down scan gives me a much clearer picture of what's exactly directly beneath the boat. So I can confirm whether that blob on side scan was actually a brush pile, whether fish are even relating to it, how tall it is, and then exactly where I want to position the boat given the wind direction and everything else. Now I've gone from like, that looks cool, to now I know exactly what I'm looking at. And that's a major difference. But here's the thing. None of that shit requires the newest electronics. You do not need live sonar. You do not need Mega 360. You can save yourself $6,000 in electronics packages. If your graph has side scan and down scan, you've already got an incredibly capable fish finding tool. Even if you've only got 2D sonar, there's still plenty to learn there. You could watch how bait schools appear. You could learn to identify hard bottom versus soft bottom. You can recognize when fish are suspended versus when they're glued to the bottom. You can pay attention to depth changes. You can watch how vegetation appears. Every hour that you spend learning to interpret that, those returns are what make you a better angler. The best electronics in the world, they don't catch fish. The angler interpreting the screen catches fish. Now, with that said, today's electronics will absolutely make the process easier. Modern units have cleaner displays with higher resolution. Mapping is a lot faster and way more detailed. Waypoint management is infinitely easier in some of these cases. And you can customize split screens with just a few taps. Features like shaded depth ranges, improved contour maps, live waypoint syncing between multiple units, smartphone integration, and better GPS accuracy are all making breaking down water faster and way more efficient. Those are unbelievable improvements. But notice something. They're making the process easier. They're not replacing the process. You've still got to identify good areas. You've still got to interpret what it is that you're seeing, and you still have to decide where you're going to make that first cast. Technology can definitely shorten the learning curve, but it can't eliminate it altogether. And honestly, I think that's where a lot of anglers often sell themselves short. They spend more time researching that next electronics upgrade or purchase than they do learning the electronics that they've already got sitting on their boat. So here's my challenge for this week. The next time that you're on the water, don't make your first cast for like 20 or 30 minutes. Just idle around, pedal, paddle, whatever you're doing. Scan a little bit, drop a waypoint if you think something looks juicy, and then go back over and just look at it. If you can identify, or what you should do, challenge yourself. See if you can identify 5 pieces of cover that you maybe never noticed before. Something that was maybe offshore. Something so deep that you just wouldn't get your naked eyes on it. Then fish those spots with more confidence, because now you're making decisions that are based about information instead of just blind hope. You might be surprised how many new spots have actually been hiding in plain sight this entire time. Because at the end of the day, confidence doesn't come from owning the latest graph. It comes from understanding the graph that you've already got. And that's just the tip. So what Joe, I guess what I kind of want to know from you was like, you've got a lot more experience with like a variety of different forms of technology. You've been using electronics that much more. What was it like for you? How did you get to the point where you started to build confidence in using your electronics?
Yeah. Great question. I'll be 100% honest I feel like I'm always learning them, and I never feel as though I'm 100% confident in them, because there's always, I'm constantly going on YouTube, seeing different settings or, things, to do. But it's like, man, it's like everyone. Yeah, I have live scope on my boat, so everyone's going to assume that's my favorite piece of, It's not. It's, probably side scan, then my 360, and then my live scope.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And obviously mapping's the number one. But yeah, man, it's tough because I have inundated myself with so much electronics on my boat that, like, where you make a great point is like, hey, before you do that, make sure you're 100% comfortable on the one that you have now. Yeah. And then you can kind of, maybe add an additional or maybe upgrade or something. I was just like, put it all on my boat. So I feel like I'm constantly learning my electronics, even now. I'm always dicking around with the settings and, to try to get that more clear picture.
Yep.
Or, especially with the live scope, one thing they don't tell you is, dude, you have to adjust that thing constantly because you have to have different settings for clear water versus murky water versus deep water versus shallow, so I'm constantly messing around with that thing. But, yeah, am I confident? Yes. Am I completely confident? No. Because when it comes to those electronics, there's always something to learn. Maybe you can know all the settings and you can set everything on a dime, but then you still got to learn how to read them. You got to learn what Bobby talks like a side scan. Like, yeah, they're not meant to necessarily spot fish, but you can.
Yeah, you
can always spot fish on, especially, bait. Yeah, but you can spot solo fish and stuff on there. So it's really learning how to read what you're looking at. Not so much, get those settings crisp, but to actually know what you're looking at. Yeah. Like, yeah, it looks great, but can you interpret it?
And it's so John Carter chimes in right here and he goes, Johnny Schultz from Fish the Moment in an 8-hour outing will drive around marking everything you just talked about for 2 or 3 hours before he even takes a cast. Here's what's interesting. John, I was one of Johnny's videos that I was like, I'm missing the point. I need to drive around with side scan and just go like, let's remember that. Let's put a pin in that. Let's go ahead and put a pin in that. And like, I don't love the units I'm using right now for a number of different reasons. But I was like, before I take the leap I'm about to take, I really want to have some practices in mind already. So I want to put the work in now. So the process, the evolution in the technology on my boat is started already. We're like 2 weeks in, and I've been doing the work to work on all that. When I first entered into using side scan, right, I was in my kayak. Didn't even fucking make sense to me. You're talking about, especially when I first got my kayak, like you're talking about a guy that didn't want to walk if he didn't have to. You know what I mean? Like I was not going to just pedal around just because. And then like, it was a pain in the balls, but I do see like there are instances where I have used that side scan to mark a brush pile when I was looking for crappie in a multi-species scavenger hunt, shit like that. And it paid off. And I was like, holy fucking hell, that's crazy. That could actually work. When I was up in Maine with Delirious, when we went to Moosehead, We went to that other pond and I spotted that lake trout because I was using downscan and I was in a spot and I was like, there's a mark there. Hold on. And I marked it and I went back and I was like, oh shit, this is great. So I'm starting to like utilize this stuff and figure a few things out. Now, the upgrades that I have planned, we'll talk about that and broke on the boat. But what's nice, and I would make this suggestion to anybody, before you just go and plunk down your cold hard cash, right? Spend some time with your current electronics. Make sure that you're like really into fucking around with it, because the reasons that you might want to upgrade may not have even made themselves obvious until you start trying to do that. We're going to talk about one feature on Broken the Boat in a minute, but it's just it's crazy. It's I don't think that it is. I should also say like what John had mentioned about had Johnny Schultz in an 8-hour window will spend 2 or 3 idling around just scanning. That's hard to do. Like a lot of us, we get to fish. Most people don't get, like I just fished 5 days this week. Most people don't get to do that. I get that. So if you're going out for one day, dude, you don't want to drive around and find the shit. But I'll tell you what, if you're getting your ass kicked, and you're just like, what the fuck is going on? Use that technology to try to like really get comfortable with it and make some moves. That's what I was doing when I was with my wife. We were getting our asses kicked. And I was like, I'm going to scroll around. And my way of breaking it down was like this. I would just start idling. Like I would set somewhere between 3-4 miles an hour. And I would just kind of scan. And I would see something and I would mark it. And then I would look up visibly on the bank. And I would say, okay, that point, I'm going to look for another mark, anything. Right between right here and that point. And if I don't find one, I'm just going to loop around and go scan this. But as soon as I mark something else, I'm going to go loop around and I'm going to scan at least 2, So when I find something, and what's nice, again, like technology, the one thing now I have a Garmin at the bow, right? Garmin Striker 4 at the bow, and I have a Lowrance Hook 7 on my console. What I just started doing, and this is awesome, Joe, is because I don't have a foot pedal for my trolling motor. I have the remote, right? What I do when I get to that spot, I will motor over, and I'm looking at my split screen. So I've got my map in front of me, and I've got that waypoint, and I've got downscan, and I'll go over that and I'll look at it. And if it looks juicy, I let myself drift right over it. I put the motor in neutral, shut off the engine, go up to the trolling motor, drop it, and then go sit back at the captain's chair and use the remote on the trolling motor to get back over there and spot lock. And it is a game changer. We're talking about like under $30,000 fucking boat, electronics, everything. Like this is not a major fucking deal. You know what I'm saying? Like this is everyday type shit. And it's just like you start to figure out these problems. Now, we're going to go and jump right into this next segment because it's almost seamless the way that this works. Let's go ahead. Let's dive into this.
It's time to go broke on the boat. Joe and Bobby's Guide to Fishing Your Funds Away.
I am never going to financially recover from this.
You're goddamn right, Tiger King. You're not. Ever. Here's the deal. I am upgrading my electronics this year. I'm in a position where I'm like, this needs to happen. And the one thing that kind of kills me about what I'm doing right now is that I have no network, no ecosystem on my boat. So when I set that waypoint, I go up to the bow to go and fish, and I'm looking at 2D sonar on my striker, and I'm like, okay, the depth looks about right. Cool. I'm marking something, but I don't have that waypoint there. I can't use that to find other spots. None of that is communicating with what's on the console. So it was really kind of a pain in the ass. So what I've decided was I reached out to Matt over at Hanks Marine. And I was like, dude, let's go ahead. Let's do a collab. And there's going to be a video and everything, like showing the install and everything. I've made the decision. And what I'm going to do is I initially was considering going with Garmin. because I'm like, I've got a Garmin unit up front. The deciding factor is going to be, will that Striker network with another Garmin unit? And it won't. So that takes it out of the mix. Like it won't, it just doesn't have that network capability. So I'm like, well, so then what do I want to do? Really for me, my decision was twofold. Number one, I love the Lake Master maps. I've looked around at them, man. They're the jam. They're the ones that I prefer. I'm not crazy about the C-map stuff. Navionics is fine. Navionics is absolutely fine, but the Lake Master stuff just seems really, really, really great.
Love it.
And the fact that like the new Humminbird Explorers come with it, like not even like the full version, but like they have like that base version already in there. That is super helpful. So I'm going to be expanding on that on top of that. So I was like, already I kind of love that. Secondly, I have a Minn Kota trolling motor. I have a Minn Kota trolling motor that I have like, it's hot rodded out. Like I've got a power drive, you know, this thing natively does not have spot lock. It does not even have there's no network capability, anything, but I've modded the head so that I've got spot lock and Bluetooth control so I can use the remote and everything else. Eventually we'll be upgrading that trolling motor, so it will be part of the one boat network, and that's the big one. That one boat network, the fact that I can do one Humminbird unit, an Explorer on the console, and then one at the bow. Everything can talk. The other thing that like I really want to take that leap into is Mega 360. That's going to come into play as well. I kind of think that will be something that will be really handy because I want to guide people. That's going to help. Because then, you know, and the nice thing is with the One Boat Network is that smartphone integration too. So I like to prep and look at maps, but with the One Boat Network, if I put a waypoint on something that I think looks good on the map, like a drop off or a point or, you know, a channel swing or something, that I'm like, this, I want to make sure I hit this. This way, it's already, I get on the boat and it's all linked up on both units. Done deal. So that's the move. I'm going to be doing that. I'm going to take you guys through like the whole journey. But the reason why I've been like leaning on electronics right now, even the old stuff right now that I'm using, is because I want to have a plan in motion. I can already see how some of these details will help me with the strategy I'm already using. That One Boat Network especially, you know. The Mega 360 would be cool too. I don't know that we're going to do that right off the rip. That might be another year. I might hold off on that. But yeah, we're going to play around and check it out and see what's up. I just think it's worth the money. I'm going with 9-inch screens, like nothing crazy. Just because the jump from 9 to 10 even is astronomical. And I would rather be able to do both of them and have the 9. So I'm going, you know, smaller screen, but still that's going to be an upgrade from what I'm currently using, which is a 7 at my console. That'll help. I got to play around with one of the Explorer units, and the boot up and the zooming on your map is so ridiculously smooth and fast. So it's pretty badass. I'm pretty stoked about that. And Joe, you're all Humminbird, right?
Yeah. I got all birds.
All birds, and you well,
except for I have a Garmin up front for the live scope.
Oh, you are using Garmin for live scope. Okay.
Yep. Hey, dude, the Garmin live scope is.
They say that is
superior.
Like the superior, exactly. But like, I'm not. My when I bought this boat, the idea was that I wanted to like just live and evolve in this boat as a way to show people that like you don't need all of the fucking bells and whistles right off the top, and you don't need a bass boat, quote unquote. You know what I mean? Like you can do this in a deep V, in a smaller, more nimble boat, in a John boat, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But like, I want to, the time has come to bring it like to that next level. It's going to cost me a fucking shitload of money. But it is funny having Holly on the boat and having her see the electronics and explain to her like, yeah, see, what would be nice is that when I set that waypoint here, I could go up front and it's going to be there.
Yep.
And she's like, yeah, I could definitely see where that would be better.
John, I run the LVS 34.
LVS 34 for live scope?
Yep, for live scope.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It was initially I was looking at some of the Helix ones because I'm like, I can probably get those cheap. And then I started talking with Matt, and Matt does what Matt does.
Yeah.
He shed a little bit of light on it. He was like, dude, he goes, honestly, he's like, you might want to take the leap here because it includes the mapping. It has it's basically ready to go. And what's nice, I'll just need that Mega 360 transducer and I'll be in business. That's why that may come along a little bit faster, but we'll see. There are features too with like trolling motor features that I think I would like being able to plot a course and let the trolling motor do it. Yep. I've heard from some folks like people have that feature and they never use it. I'm like, I'm not that guy. I'll fuck around with it, you know, especially if I'm guiding, especially if I'm guiding with somebody, you know?
Oh yeah, for sure.
100%. So yeah, that's how I'm going broke on the boat. But we're doing it a step at a time and it's going to be awesome. And I'm going to bring you guys along for the ride. And what I would really like to do, and if you guys are interested in this, like on YouTube, to do like some exercises where I can go and scan a body of water and like walk you through how some of this stuff works. Let me know if you guys want to see that either via the hotline or shoot a DM or, you know, whatever. Throw a comment on one of my YouTube videos. Like, awesome. Like, I will gladly pay attention to all that stuff. We'll get you all set up. But we have a couple of FTGs to get through. Joe, actually, before we do that, Joe, do you have anything you want to add in, like electronics?
No, man, I think we nailed it. I think we nailed it with that.
I love that. Let's go ahead and we'll do this this FTG here. There's a couple. Here we go. Buckle up.
You know the guy. Everybody knows the guy. FTG, yeah, we're calling you out. FTG, that's what this segment's about. From the pleasure boat to your own damn crew, if you act like trash, this song's about you. Jigs and Biggs Hotline. Tell us what happened.
Bobby, and who the fuck is Joe Brown? My bad, I'm driving and shit. You don't know how to fucking drive. I have an FTG. Got to call it in. I just thought about it. Literally listened to the show. So I'm over here fishing at the spot, you know, and then I see these two guys are drunk as hell, trying to paddle this boat around. So they're over here going in circles. So they ended up saying, fuck it, they coming back. So they're coming back, but they're coming towards me, towards shore. And I'm like, yeah, here we go, bro. Here we go. They're disturbing the whole area, so I'm just like, all right, whatever. Like, they're paddling pretty quietly, so, okay, cool, we good. This guy, Smooth, get out the boat. Smooth bust his ass and fell in the goddamn water, and he's over here, like, so damn drunk, he think he's drowning. I'm like, bro, stand up. Stand up. Stand up.
Oh, I love that.
And he started standing up. He was like, oh, thank you, man. I was like, bro, I don't think you should drive, bro. He blew up the whole spot, ended up forgetting his paddle and stuff. And I just didn't want to say anything. I'm just like, yeah, bro, just leave. But yeah, fuck that guy. Don't row a boat drunk. Right lines.
Dude, that reminds me of last August. That dude that fucking his boat like drifted away. After, like, he was wasted, and there was a dude at the ramp. This is over at Congamon Jr.
Oh, God.
And he...
Oh, I remember this.
Yeah, and it ended up, like, the entire fucking boat launch, everybody singing, like, the God Bless the USA. It was
That's
fucking
right.
insane, dude.
That was a good story, yeah.
Dude, that was an amazing story. But, yeah, there's a certain element where, like, alcohol and fishing, like, there's a line. You know?
Of course.
Like, it's one thing to have a couple of beers at the launch after you're done. It's another thing to be on the water and get carried away.
Right.
That's rough. Right. That's rough.
Right.
Dude, I just see Brandon go,
Stand up. Stand up.
He's like, it's not that deep. Stand up, you dumb bastard. Oh my God, that is too fucking funny. Are you guys ready for my FTG?
Let's hear it.
Fuck FIFA. No. No, it kind of does have to play. So let me paint the picture for you guys. I got an email last night that kind of ties into all this stuff. So a couple weeks ago, you guys might remember, I recorded an episode of The Whole Angler with Andrew Hayes. Joe, you were there. With Bailey, with the guys from Small Ponds, Big Dreams, and Dave, of course, and Armando from Bass Kayak and Beers. And that was, set. We've been planning that for like weeks. And I was like, listen, guys, I've got trivia till 8 o'clock. I was like, can we do this at 9? And everybody adjusted their schedule to fucking make it work. All right. So I get to my trivia event, right, that night. I pull up and I'm in front of the window and there's a lawyer that has an office upstairs. He lets me use his spot. So I pull up in that spot and I can see right in. It is packed in this bar. Packed. Okay, I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And in my mind, I'm like, is this for the World Cup? Are people like, oh, we love soccer today. We love it. Let's watch soccer at a bar. That would be cute, Yep. So I'm like, fuck. I was like, if it's this busy, like, why didn't they just fucking call me and tell me like, hey, maybe we're not going to do trivia tonight? Fine. Like, whatever. It's fine. That's okay. But I'm there. So I get my gear and I wheel everything in and I get there and the manager that's there looks at me like, I have no idea what we're going to do. And I tell her, I was like, should we just cancel? You think we should just cancel? She's like, yeah, I don't know where these people are. And if this game goes into overtime, now keep in mind, I don't give a fuck about sports one way or the other. Right. I'm not paying, they don't pay me to pay attention to that shit. I have no idea where this game is. No idea, but she's right. If it goes into overtime, we're fucked. I can't start the game late because it's going to fuck up everything else and affect all of these people that I don't want to have to deal with that, And I don't want to no-show for this podcast I made a commitment to. So I made the call. I was like, let's just cancel. It's no big deal. And I said to her, I was like, I'm not even going to charge you guys for tonight. Like, it's okay. I get it. This shit happens. Whatever. I was fully within my right to charge them, I should have 100% just charged them and be like, all right, cool. Pay me. I'm here. I showed up. You guys had a room full of people and didn't fucking call me.
Yeah.
So I leave. And of course, like, I'm not happy about it. So I put up a post on my Instagram story and I was just like, hey, heads up. FIFA World Cup game. Bar is packed. Bunch of soccer fans for this week. And I have no idea. I have something lined up, so I'm not going to be able to fit trivia in. I can't start late. I apologize. Let everybody know. A couple of people did show up. They didn't check social media beforehand, whatever. We talk about it, no big deal. I get to the next week, right? And I do my post on Instagram. And I wrote in the caption, I was like, I shouldn't have to do this, but I did check to make sure there was no FIFA World Cup game for tonight. And we're in the clear. But nobody tells me nothing. So we're just going to go under the assumption that trivia is on, and if anything changes, I'll let you know, but you will see me there. So I show up, I do the game, everything's fine. Over that weekend, I see that I have my Instagram and Facebook accounts set to like kind of regurgitate everything from Instagram over there.
Right.
One of the owners of the bar, I should mention that this bar was acquired like a little over a year ago from the original owners, who were fucking amazing business people, by the way. The initial owners, amazing. That business ran for 50 fucking years in Western Massachusetts. Amazing. And he wanted to get out of the business, so he sold it. So he sold it to this group. Awesome. Great. Good for them. I see this comment and they're like, oh, this is tremendously unprofessional. We inconvenienced you for 15 to 20 minutes and this is how you treat us and all this bullshit. I didn't even respond to it. I'm not even worried about it because the week before, after I left, I have a list of bars that have inquired about having me at their place. And they ask all the time, do you have any availability? I'm like, no, but I'll add you to the list. When something shows up, I'll get in touch with you. So I reached out to a couple of them already. The wheels were already in motion. Already in motion. There's one thing Bobby Roast Beef doesn't put up with, and it's bullshit. Just doesn't. Done deal. So I I do trivia that night. I have like the staff members like, oh, I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah. Nobody said anything, whatever. I was like, I said to some of the staff, I was like, the only reason I'm pissed is nobody fucking thought to text me. Like, hey, we got a bar full of people here. I don't know how is this going to affect something? Like, can you start late? Then I could say, no, I can't. I have something going on. Not a problem. But because I was very much obviously an afterthought in the equation, even though this has been a successful trivia event weekly since late 2023 for this bar, they're like, they just don't even think about it. Whatever. Joe, let me ask you this. Would you feel like you're warmly welcomed if that were the situation?
No.
Yeah, 100%. Feel like I'm like, okay, cool. It is what it is. I get there this week, right? Nobody says boo. I set up. We do it. It's July, right? People take vacations. All this month has been weird. Some nights have been like busier than shit. Other nights have been a little bit light. Last night was one of those nights where it's a little bit light. No big deal. And I'm like, I'm going to hear about this. I knew it. Like I could call it. You know what I mean? I was like, they're going to fucking say some shit. Believe me. Nobody said boo to me. I leave. I have some errands to run that evening, make a couple of stops, everything. Deposit the check they gave me. That fucker's probably going to bounce. And I get an email. So I ended trivia at I left there at 8:30. I get this email. This was not even 10:30 that night. Okay. And I'm going to surmise this a little bit, but it basically says to me, hey, just wanted to touch base about trivia. Now that we've been running it for about a year, we've had enough time to review the numbers, and unfortunately, we haven't seen the sales growth we expected. At the current fee, it's becoming difficult for us to justify continuing. They made some kind of a comment about the Facebook post and everything, and, saying that it was... it came across as publicly criticizing them and suggesting that they were disorganized. Pot, meet kettle. Kettle, meet pot. That's all I got to say there. They go, I understand there may have been some confusion with the World Cup schedule. Again, I'm not going to pay attention to the sports schedule. Like, if it's a bar full of people, you should let me know. You're there. You know how many people are there, if it's going to be a problem or not. Rather than posting it publicly. So then they go on to say, we would be willing to discuss continuing trivia at a reduced rate, but also need communication and promotion remain positive. Otherwise, we may need to discontinue trivia. Let me know your thoughts. My response, stone cold sober, by the way. Hello. You guys are actually already paying a reduced rate by about 25%. Than all the rest of my other accounts. And the reason for that is simply because of the real estate in your establishment. There isn't enough for larger groups. On the vast majority of occasions, tonight being a rarity, it didn't sit well with me to increase your rate because you can't handle those larger amounts of people. Strange, though, because when the previous owner and staff were in managing things, they were constantly providing very positive feedback about these events on Thursdays since we started in 2023. Unfortunately, it looks like Thursdays are over for us. Best of luck. I've already got 2 venues that are interested. This is not going to affect me at all. In fact, I've got a litany of players that have reached out because I made a post on Instagram on my story just saying hey guys, just a heads up, you're not going to see Thursdays at the Toasted Owl in Northampton. You won't. Our time there is done and there's going to be something replacing it, but it's a process. Some of that process is on me. I want to make sure that we promote it the right way and that we launch and have a few weeks to do it set up and everything else.
Now, did they respond to your response?
Nope.
No.
I have a feeling that if I have a feeling that they won't respond because the only thing they could say was well, we don't want you to pull the plug. No. Done.
Yep.
I know exactly what's going on. It's okay. It's all right. The day that they told me that there was a sale and there was going to be new ownership, I knew this day was going to come.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Because right out of the gate, I think it was last September, maybe even last August. They were like, oh, can we adjust the time? Because we were successful 7 to 9. And they're like, we want to kind of like compensate because, you know, football on Thursdays is going to be huge.
Spoiler alert.
It never is. Maybe for a game or two a season.
Not Northampton.
Well, I mean, no, just not in general. Like, I mean, honestly, on Thursday nights, like...
Thursdays.
Thursday
There's
nights,
one game.
There's one game. And if it's not the right team, you're going to get a handful of people in there. And more times than not, after trivia there, I will hear from teams going like, damn, we got to get there earlier because there were no seats when we got there. They're making plenty of money. I don't know what the fuck their problem is. Fuck them. You know, that's it. So I was like, I'm not saying this on my social media. I'm using this for Jigs and Bigs as my own little catharsis like experiment. But I'm like, yeah, it's just fucked. So I'm going to keep Thursdays open a little bit, at least to do like some promotion and stuff like that. And I'm going to probably going to do some fishy trivia in that meantime, you know, and
Hell yeah.
my plan has always been once fishing slows down to bring that in because I want to get folks playing fishy trivia and I want to get some prizes and all that good shit. And the online games are definitely fun. And I think that that's the way to go. But yeah, I was pissed, man. I was absolutely heated. I was like, you've got to be shitting me, you guys. I was like, whatever, that's fine. And already there's 2 different venues and a third that's like, please, I hope the other 2 can't take it. You know?
Yeah.
Is what it is.
The time has come, Bobby, for
Time.
bigger and better things.
That's what I'm saying, baby. That's exactly what I'm saying. So fuck that guy. Let's go ahead and take a quick break. We got our live well segment coming up that you guys do not want to miss. We'll see you guys in a bit. More good Jigs and Bigs goodness coming up. We'll see you.
Hi there. Welcome to the Live Well, where we crack open a ramp beer and attempt to answer all of your burning questions.
Something is burning, but I don't know if it's the questions necessarily. Sorry. Let's go ahead and dive right in. We got 2 voicemails that came in. We got a text message, and we have 1 live well piece that's just mentioned in here. Maybe even 2. Actually, you got 2 of them that came in through the comments from Jighead. So let's go ahead and dive in with this first call. This one is from a show favorite, the one and only Eli Self.
Hey boys, it's Eli with question for live well. Question this week is, everybody talks about using a search bait when they first get to a lake. What is that search bait for you, and why? Why is that the bait? Is it just a confidence thing? Is there a specific reason why you like using that bait over any other? But yeah, what's that search bait that you use when you get to that lake to kind of find fish before you kind of zero in or dial in a certain spot or a couple spots? Yeah, see you boys.
So, I mean, I'll jump in and say that for me, that search bait's going to change based on the conditions.
Same.
But I will say the thing that I am always looking for with a search bait is I want to be fishing the thing I can move fastest for those conditions. So if it's, if it's like bluebird skies and not much wind, probably not going to throw a spinnerbait or a bladed jig right off the rip. I'll probably throw a paddle tail swim bait, something that's a little bit more subtle, something like that. If it's early, like it's low light, I will probably throw, if the conditions are making me think like walking bait or plopper or buzz bait, cool, I'll go ahead and do that. But if the conditions are making me think maybe more like popper or floating jerk, then I'll go and throw that. I'm always, when it's a search thing, it's not, for me, it's not necessarily even about catching fish at that moment. It's just finding the fish and having them identify themselves. So for me, it's whatever is fastest at that moment.
Yeah, I'm kind of on the same. It changes. by condition, season, you know, it's, I guess like my top 5 I would have to search baits would be, you know, bladed jig, swim jig, jerk bait, crankbait, and something top water. Like, just depending on the time of the year, the conditions, everything. Yeah. I can't say that because there's one bait that fits every situation for a search bait, because conditions just don't dictate that, at least for me.
A lot of the time, like, I'm the same way. I'll lean heavy toward if we're dealing with clouds and wind, I will probably throw a bladed jig or a trap, like the most obnoxious that I can.
Yeah.
But if it's a little bit more like where subtlety might be the thing, maybe it's windy, but the clouds aren't great, I'll probably throw like a willowtail spinner blade, like a single blade or something like that, like a minigun.
Yep.
Something like that.
A little more subtle.
Yeah, a little bit more subtle, something like that. But if it's one of those things where it's like, it's not really moving at all, that's when I'm going to go and I'm going to start searching with like a paddle tail swim bait or something. And sometimes even in there, I'll make adjustments. You know, I'll choose something that's a little bit more of a tight wobble versus a wide swinging tail, depending on what it is. But yeah, always, I would suggest always conditions all the time will trump your, you know, confidence search bait. So yeah, there you go, Eli. Do we want to do a text or do we want to do, let's do one of these from the live well, or from the comments here. So Ian chimes in and he says, I'm having trouble in these hot temperatures. My friend, you and me both. He goes, I'm getting out at sunrise. He says, the pond is only 10 minutes from work, and I'm hitting it at sunset, and I'm getting absolutely nothing. Poppers, chatterbaits, etc. Inline spinner is my confidence lure, and it catches 10 inchers, but I'm not hooking up like everyone else. So, in a way, this kind of lines up ideally with, I think, what Eli was talking about there is, Ian, I think what you need to do is look at the conditions. And if it's more, you know, low light helps. It buys you, I think, a little bit of flexibility. It definitely does. So like if you're fishing sunrise and sunset primarily over there, you know, if they're not hitting a popper, it might be, sometimes water clarity can fuck with that shit too. Sometimes water clarity can fuck with the difference of like a soft plastic versus a hard bait. You know, the visibility, they can get more eyes on it. So like maybe that popper doesn't look as natural, you know, or that hard jerk bait. I love using the idea of a jerkbait. So you're throwing a jerkbait, you're like, it's a little bit more subtle. Maybe they'll hit this. Try throwing a weightless fluke.
Yeah.
You know, because it just looks a little bit more natural, something along those lines. It can be a bitch, though. That's 100%. Let's go ahead and jump in with one of
let me.
Oh, go ahead.
I got one for that also.
Yeah.
We talked about a few weeks ago, especially sunset, like, or don't forget to fish parallel with the bank versus out away from the bank.
Definitely.
That's such a, like, an easy no. People don't realize that a lot of those things are up super shallow. If you're in the sun, look for the shade, you know, or just run something, you know, parallel just a few feet off the bank. Try it.
No, that definitely makes sense. This is one that I am stoked about. I feel bad because this came in last week via, I think it was like a Facebook DM, and no, and it was, that's what it was. It was a Facebook DM initially, and they were looking for the hotline number. So I sent that to them, but I totally flaked on putting this out there. But this is a really, really great live well question. So question comes in and goes, so I wanted to get your guys' opinion. I'm disabled and I have a prosthetic leg. I can't really do much walking, so I fish out of my paddleboard. 2 weeks ago, I was out there for about 10 hours. While I was fishing, I found a hard swim bait. I posted it on Facebook and on a group about big baits, trying to find out what kind it was. And it turned out to be some rare 316 hard swim bait. He goes, I started to get a lot of messages from people saying it was their bait, and if I could give it back, they even sent me pictures, and they don't really look real. But my question is, what would you guys do? A, give it back, or B, keep it? This comes from Tony, M&T Fishing from Southern California. So, Tony, I have a name for those types of baits when you find them. Like maybe it's someone lost a square bill in a tree, something like that or whatever. I call that shore candy. And I feel like if somebody's lost a lure like that and they're not there with it, finders keepers rule. 100%. Like I wouldn't even put anything on Facebook. I would just be like, I'm going to fix this bait up, replace these hooks. Cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
Somebody 100%. Left it. Finders keepers rule. Yeah, I think you're doing like what is realistically like the nice thing to do. I think you are. But
yeah, of course.
I don't think you're obligated by, especially because now you can't prove it. Because now you've got a bunch of different people like, oh no, it's my bait, blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, how do you prove it? I would honestly, I would block everybody. Keep it. I would block them all and fucking keep it, dude. 100%. Because like if they're not there with it, it's gone. You know, I mean, if I when I lost that Chad, right? If it was reachable, and I don't think it was, but if it were reachable and somebody came across it, I couldn't be mad at them because I left it there. You know? That's just I don't know. I would say that definitely follows under the finders keepers rule for sure. And it sounds like it's a pretty badass bait. I'd love to see a picture of it. John says, what's yours is mine and what's mine used to be yours. LOL, dude. Fair enough. Short candy is great. Sometimes you come into some really good stuff. I got a really nice wake bait, a really small, I think it's a Strike King wake bait. And it is, it's caught a bunch of fish for me. It's great. When I need something super tiny, I'm like, yeah, awesome. You find shore candy like that. That's why it's always nice to have some split rings and some treble hooks to swap stuff out for sure. 100%. Let's go ahead and chime into, so we have, this is kind of celebratory right here. John Hagens. Didn't realize this at the time, but he goes, yeah, that flathead pick that I posted last weekend is his official new PB at, get this, 42.2 pounds. 42.2 pounds. He says it's 42 pounds and 44.25 inches in length. Dude, congratulations, John. Like, John is a hammer. A hammer. Multi-species absolute murderer. Like, guy just gets it done. And if you guys don't, you know what, John, send DM me that pic. We'll make you the cover this week on the show so people can see it. We'll make you the cover with that 42 pounder. God damn, I can't even imagine catching a fish that size, dude. I can't even imagine it. I just got a bunch of pike and muskie lures that came in. I bought a couple of these 18-inch like rubber jigs and some big like tandem double blade inline spinners. Cause I'm going for that 40.
Hell yeah.
And I was talking with Holly and she's like, well, how big do those weigh? I was like, I don't even know. I'm like, honestly, I don't even know like what, cause like we were talking about the other week, Joe. When people measure pike, they're not like, oh, it was a fucking 50 pounder. Like, that's the secondary measurement. It's always the length. I'm like, yeah, you know,
it's something engraved, like imprinted, into an angler's mind. Like no angle. It's like most anglers, you know, not to take away the kayak stuff, but most anglers when they're like, they get a bass, like I wonder how much it weighs. Yeah. Angler gets a pike. They're like, let's see how long this thing.
Yeah, it's
crazy. Know? It's like same thing like muskie and stuff like it's just there's certain species that it's like it's imprinted into our brains that like we just have a different way of measuring it essentially.
I feel like trout are that same way too. Like people will be like, "Oh, I got a 24-inch brown, dude." Like it was life changing, and I'm like, "Yeah, I think you're right, Joe. I really do."
Yeah,
and like I was telling, I think I was talking to my daughter, and I was like, I have no idea because I showed. It was funny. One of these, and I forget the brand because I'm going to do a video like all about like this gear and like I don't even know what the fuck I'm doing. Like I have a new reel from PC Fun that it's a 400 size. Bait caster.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
it's fucking
huge.
We
going shark fishing, Bobby.
And I'm like, okay, so I got to get some bigs to like throw this on. That's why I was like, okay, I think that these curly tail, like, rubber, soft plastic jigs for, no better reason will probably be the move for that. But the inline spinners are freaking amazing. And one of them I took out and it's all anise scent. And it's like, there's one of them's all perch color, and the other one is all black and like glitter. And some gold blades, some silver.
Meg doesn't know it yet, but I'm probably going to be picking up a couple surf casting setups because we're going to the Outer Banks in a few weeks.
Oh yeah, dude.
I have no effing clue what I'm doing, but we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out.
So. John, that's what I've got. That's the reel that I've got, and it's overkill for anything I'm going to do. So I'll do this video and stuff. We'll talk later. I might hook you up. All right, that's it. We'll talk later. But good stuff. So the pressure's on now. I'm looking for a 40-inch pike. And that's part of what I was doing today was a little bit of research. That's kind of part of what I was doing today. So what do we got? So we talked about that. We got our text that came in. We got one more call from South Jersey, Josh. This is a good one.
Hey, Bobby, and potentially Joe or Benya or whoever. It's South Jersey, Josh. How you doing? I'm calling with a question for the live well. I mentioned before a couple calls back, month or so back, whatever, that I do enjoy river fishing. By the time this records, hopefully I'll be prepping for a little bit of river fishing up in PA for a little bit. So I probably won't hear this till Monday or Tuesday when it drops. But anyhow, I am planning a trip out to Ohio to visit some family and do a little fishing while I'm out there. And as far as smallmouth river fishing goes, I mean, I'm pretty proficient with, a swim jig or a spinner bait or, even a Ned rig. That's pretty easy, and that's fun. But there's always room for improvement. I'd like to do a little better. As I understand it, you can also fish, like hard baits, the hollow body hard baits, basically jerk baits, crank baits, poppers, whatever for smallmouth as well. I'm struggling to understand how that works or is supposed to work. I'll throw, if I have a jig or whatever, or like some kind of swim bait, I'll throw it up into the current and bring it down with the current, to match the flow of the river to keep it natural. But I don't understand how you're supposed to do that with something that naturally wants to float and you need to have moving to get down. So if you guys could elaborate on that, that would be cool. And maybe I can apply some of it to my Ohio trip. Anyway, guys, thanks. Tight lines.
I'll let you go first, Bobby.
When it comes to fishing rivers, man, honestly, when it comes to fishing current, I don't throw a lot of plugs. Like I really don't. Top water's different, but like when you're talking about something that you need to keep in a certain area of like a trap, I guess a rattle trap would work okay. But the idea is like when especially like you're fishing it the way he's talking about, how you'll make a cast upriver, or upstream, and then you'll bring it down with the current. You want it at that right depth. So I oftentimes will throw something like a single hook, like a jig, like a soft plastic swim bait, or a tube, a Ned, like something like that, where the current can kind of move it along. I guess a jerk bait, a good suspending jerk bait would stay in the zone. Maybe, I don't know, Joe. What do you think?
Dude, yeah, this is a tough one because number one, my river, it's like, it's weird because I know the Ohio is more like creeks than rivers, essentially, which is something I have very little experience in when it comes to smallmouth fishing.
Yeah, we have very little of that around us.
Yeah, our river, my river fishing is Connecticut River.
Yep.
And, St. Lawrence and the Quabog River, which it has zero current, really. Yeah. I guess the closest I can do is let's talk the Connecticut River.
Yep.
A big thing I like to do on the Connecticut River is start upstream, obviously. And I like to throw a Demiki. And it allows the current to kind of give it the action. And with a Demiki rig, you can really control where it stays in like the water column and stuff. So that's a big one for me. You can make almost any bait work as long as you're not even so much working the bait, you're working the current.
Yeah,
you just have to understand that you're working the current. But man, I wish I had a better answer, or maybe I don't because you called me out. But yeah, so you just start subtle with something like we've been talking about a ton, like a fluke or like a Demiki or something on like a jig head or even like a paddle tail. Use that the current to your advantage. Yeah, I guess that'd be my best answer.
There is John Higgins chimes in with this. He goes, a little heavier jig that won't weigh you down to snag, but will let you bounce a little bit off the bottom. He says,
that's a great one too. Yeah.
Keep solid contact with your lure. Also slow sinking crankbaits, especially micro cranks. And he says that I know rooster tails are cliche, but a 1/4 ounce rooster tail is perfect for most streams in Ohio. Yellow, white, and pumpkin seed is the best. Yeah, I would say, like, honestly, I think that weight actually comes in a lot into play a lot. Because, like, if I'm fishing small systems with like light current, like a creek or something along those lines, I would probably throw more finessey shit, like an HH Customs micro koosh ball, either just a jig or the bladed jigs. I also like a lot of the pig jig stuff works great in creeks too for a lot of that same reason.
I've actually, now that I think of it, we talk jigs. I've had a lot of luck with like with a 3/8 or a half ounce Beast Coast like football style jig, and it just kind of, the current will like bounce it off the rocks for you and just run it on the bottom there. And I've had really good luck with that on the Connecticut River.
I will say one of my favorite river presentations is a wobblehead.
Of course.
Depending on the current situation, we'll adjust the weight. So anywhere from like, as light as like a 1/4 ounce in really light current to like 3/4 ounce or an ounce in some situations. The trick there is to not let your line get slack, because the moment you do, it'll get into the little like nooks and crannies, and that's where things can hang up. So if you leave your line a little bit so it bumps and then you're like immediately dragging it along, it works really, really well. It does. Wobblehead is very handy. But yeah, with like hard baits, that's one of the things that I don't really think of unless like top, or like I'll throw a spook. Like a Zara spook or something like that. I'll throw that on top. But lots of hard baits that I'm using, I'm not using stuff that's subsurface for the most part. I don't even think, and I should be. This I think might be sacrilege. I don't think I've ever tried throwing a rat in current.
I haven't either.
Yeah, I don't think I ever have, and I might need to fix that. John says, fish on, gotta go. Good luck, buddy. She probably just got a new PB. I'll bet you it's 43 pounds.
Oh, I hope so.
How sick would that be on the show live? He's just like 43 fucking pounds. Look at that. Jesus.
So dope. That'd be so sick.
Flatheads are crazy, dude. They're so
Except it takes forever to catch them, so we'd be just like sitting here for like
we'd
15
be waiting
minutes.
How did it go?
Ah, man. What a show this week, guys. No guests this week, so it was kind of a quick one. I mean, for Jigs and Bigs. Like, if you're listening to Tackle Talk, this seems like a forever message. But good show all around. Remember, guys, the BCRF fundraiser is going on Saturday, August the 8th. And you don't even have to compete in the tournament. Just register, make that $10 donation. You get entered into the raffle. Like I said, right now, we have more prizes than we have people entered. That, I'm sure, is going to change. But go ahead, register, get yourself in there. You're doing something good to help breast cancer research. And, we've got all kinds of great stuff lined up for you guys. Joe, you have anything you want to wrap up with? Any announcements or anything? Any AVF stuff you want to drop?
No, I do. I am waiting for a product, a very hot product to finally get in. Supposedly it got shipped. I don't want to mention it yet until it gets here. But other than that, man, there is big things coming down the pipe for AVF. And so just stay tuned for that.
Beautiful, dude. I'm stoked. It's going to be good stuff. You guys have yourself a great one. Thank you so much for tuning into Jigs and Bigs again this week. We appreciate you guys, especially you guys that are consuming the show over on YouTube. Those numbers are amazing me that you guys are digging it over on YouTube. So that is absolutely great. And by the way, like the last couple of episodes, like record numbers, unbelievable. And I don't know if it's because of that whole angler episode that we had done, and like people that were listening to other podcasts are like, oh, these guys seem pretty cool. And then they listen to our show and they're like, what the fuck were we thinking? But we appreciate you for listening in. Have yourselves a great one, guys. We'll see you with more Jigs and Bigs goodness next week. Same time, same RSS feed. You know what we say. You know how we do.
Tits and ass, smoke some grass.
To the stories we told, every bite, every miss, every moment on hold. You showed up, tuned in, stayed through it all. Now we're reeling it back as the night starts to fall. Every download, every share, you kept this thing alive out there. This is one last kiss before you go. If you felt this vibe, let the whole world know. Hit that follow, leave that rate, help us grow this thing we create. Links below, yeah, we got your back. Save some cash on the gear you stack. Every click keeps the lights on bright, keeps us talking fish every single night. You save a buck, we build this show. That's how this whole damn thing can grow. This is one last kiss before you go. If you felt this vibe, let the whole world know. Hit that follow, leave that rate, help us grow this thing we create. Jiggers, you already know. You're the reason this thing still goes. Early access, backstage view, yeah, this whole damn thing runs on you. Subscribe, don't miss. YouTube, remember this.
It's true.
Hell yeah.